If you're looking for a unique and meaningful holiday gift that will inspire family and friends all year long, look no further. Annie's Kit Clubs. Annie's Craft Kit subscriptions are great for beginners, seasoned crafters, young adults, and kids. Kits arrive monthly with all the high-quality materials and directions needed to get crafting immediately. Annie's offers endless crafting possibilities. There are various knitting, crocheting, sewing, fabric clubs, jewelry making, card making. Amazing clubs for younger kids that will teach them valuable skills. There are even clubs to outfit your home, like Annie's Christmas Ornament Kit Club, Holiday Quilters Club, and Farmhouse Style Kit Club. When you give the gift of Annie's, you are giving the gift of creativity. Find the perfect kit today. Subscriptions are month to month. You can cancel at any time. And as a special offer, right now, get your first kit for 75% off. You heard me right. 75% off. Go to annieskitclubs.com/Stephanie. That's annieskitclubs.com/Stephanie. Do it now and give everybody a happy holiday on your list.
Do your pets have the same energy they used to? Do they have problems with itching, scratching, a dull coat, or goopy ears? Then your pets need Dinovite.
DINOVITE.com.
For over 20 years, pet owners have trusted Dynavite to supplement their pet's diet.
We started Dynavite, and in our first stock, we noticed a difference.
Dynavite is an all-natural daily supplement made from whole foods that help support your pet's immune system, digestion, skin, and coat.
Within 3 weeks, he's not scratching and itching, and he's an all-around happier dog.
Today's commercial pet foods are processed at high temperatures, which baits out all the essential goodness. These processed foods can lack the essential vitamins, enzymes, and probiotics that contribute to overall good health. Adding a scoop of Dynavite to your pet's food bowl is the answer.
If you love your pets as much as I do, you'll want to do what's best for them to live long, healthy, happy lives.
I have 2 cats and 2 dogs. All 4 of them are on the Dynavite.
You won't believe how happy your dog will be.
DINOVITE.com.
All the viral songs from TikTok's For You page.
All on one new SiriusXM channel.
Ooh, this is... Stories behind the trends. Presented by creators like me.
Like me.
Creators like me.
Get into it,
Yo, bro, who got you smiling like that? TikTok Radio. Explosion effects.
Listen now on Channel 4 and the SXM app.
Get the most from your vision benefits and flex spending at 2020 Image Eye Centers with year-end savings of buy one, get one 50% off eyeglasses. Schedule your eye exam in our safe, clean environment today at 2020image.com.
It's not just Santa who's coming to town for the holidays. It's your relatives, and boy are they hungry. So stop by the Home Depot for up to 25% off appliances. Plus, save up to $750 instantly. No rebates, no hassles. Not only will you get a great deal on a fridge, you'll save enough to fill it up with food. Make the holidays yours at the Home Depot. How doers get more done. Valid November 3rd through December 1st. U.S. only. Gas appliances extra offer valid on select appliances while supplies last. See online or associate in-store for details.
I am Robert Strickler. My wife Joyce and I have been married for 53 years. Certainly one of the really important things in my life are our children and our grandchildren. I'm essentially a writer. I've been involved in communications and the media. I've been an avid fly fisherman for at least 40 or more years. I've been taking Prevagen on a regular basis for at least 8 years. For me, the greatest benefit over the years has been that Prevagen seems to help me recall things and also think more clearly, have a crisper ability to remember and think through things. And I enthusiastically recommend Prevagen. It has helped me an awful lot.
Prevagen, healthier brain, better life. Robert Strickler is a content contributor for Prevagen and real user, based on a clinical study of subgroups of individuals who are cognitively normal or mildly impaired. This product is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease.
This is what progress sounds like.
The House of Representatives passed an Infrastructure Investment and Jobs Act. That's a fancy way of saying a bipartisan infrastructure bill. It's going to create more jobs, good paid jobs, union jobs that can't be outsourced, and they're going to transform our transportation system. Passenger rail, the most significant investment in 50 years. In roads and bridges, the most significant investment in 70 years. And more investment in public transit than we've ever made. Period.
Progress.
Stephanie Miller. Stephanie Miller.
It is the Stephanie Miller Show. Jody Hamilton live in studio. Oh, I had one auxiliary big bag of rats. Everybody fight. Kyle Rittenhouse's lawyer made it clear he is not a fan of Donald Trump's son. Which one? Don Jr.
Well, Junior.
That's easy.
Who is?
Don Jr. tweeted that the pro-gun group Gun Owners of America should give Rittenhouse an award of an AR-15. Because then that's super funny. Because it's super funny that people's families are dead because of Kyle Rittenhouse. The lawyer said he's an idiot. I don't have to expand on that because it speaks for itself. Okay. Oh, I believe he is also encouraging vaccine protests.
Yes.
As the Omicron variant descends upon us, he's urging you to kill yourself.
Yes.
Okay. Michael in, she's still on talking to, pardon me, having a pro bono lawyer.
They're having a chat.
Is still talking to Krista. All right, we'll be with him in a moment. Okay.
Krista, hang up with him.
Hang up.
Wait,
Krista.
she's not here.
Did you see these far-right Proud Boy militia marching in Long Island over the holiday weekend? What's the bumper sticker I have that Colonel Steve chewed up? Make racist embarrassed again.
Yes.
Oh, I have a
Make
shirt like
racist
that.
afraid again. Just get back in your Haiti-hidey holes.
Yes.
That's all we're asking, right?
Yeah.
I know we're not ever going to stop racism or people hating, but as Frangela says, just go
away
to your Haiti holes.
Shoo.
Don't
Shoo.
Just shoo. Maybe that's a song. Racist shoo.
Shoot.
Some store owners appeared shocked. Diners expressed concern about the group coming to the community. They did not have permits for the march. They didn't give the village notice about it. One representative there said they're a divisive group of hate and violence. They don't have any place here. I'm all for freedom of speech, but this group doesn't have a very good track record, and they seem to come to communities to incite problems and polarize.
That's what they do.
Yes, but it's just ever since Charlottesville and Trump saying they're there, now, beautiful, very fine people, that's what I mean, is that he's just enabled all this. He's like unleashed all of this, that everyone feels the need to, not just to parade their racism and hate, and it's back in your Haiti holes. Shoo! 29 minutes after the hour. Jody Hamilton in studio on the Stephanie Miller Show.
Is what progress sounds like.
Simply because there is an abortion ban does not mean that people will not still seek abortion. It just means that they will not do it in a way that is safe and legal. We have to proactively legislate reproductive justice. Abortion care is a fundamental human right. Texas may be the first, but if we don't act, it certainly won't be the last. It is a frightening bellwether of what could be on the horizon.
Progress.
Snow falls on an old apartment. Inside, the holiday season is in swing. On the first floor, cokes are poured and stories shared among friends. 3 flights up, one generation passes down the family recipe to the next. Inside every home, there's magic. Coca-Cola, real magic.
Enjoy the real magic of the season with close friends, family, and refreshing Coca-Cola paired with all your holiday meals.
Hey listeners, ready to turn your dreams into achievements? National University has been focused on the future of higher education for 50 years. We believe the future is accessible, so we offer 4-week classes, online options, and over 75 career-focused programs. And we believe the future is affordable, so we offer the Opportunity Scholarship, which can be combined with financial aid and other scholarship opportunities. National University. Restrictions apply. Visit nu.edu for details.
Merry and Bright isn't just for your holiday. It's for your skin, too. Olay's got you covered with an easy skincare routine this season. Start with Olay Collagen Peptide 24 Eye Cream to visibly firm that delicate eye area in just 2 weeks. Top it with Olay's new Vitamin C Moisturizer to give you brighter, hydrated skin. All December, get a $25 gift card when you buy $25 of Olay skincare at Olay.com or a store near you. Gift card submission must be completed by January 30th, 2022. Visit OlayGifts.com for more details.
Hello, Discover here to explain our cash back match. Here's how it works. We give you cash back for using your Discover card on the things you were going to buy anyway. Then we match that cash back in your first year. And That's why we call it Cashback Match. Now to recap and say cashback one more time. We match all the cashback you've earned at the end of your first year automatically. Discover. Exceptionally common sense. Learn more at discover.com/match. Limitations apply.
Panera believes in saying yes. Yes to clean, fresh ingredients. Yes to the new chicken sausage and pepperoni flatbread topped with rich mozzarella. Yes to delicious mac and cheese. Yes to putting it on a sandwich, creating the grilled mac and cheese sandwich. And yes to impromptu road trips to Sandwich, Illinois. Because that's living life to the flavor fullest. Get $1 delivery when you order on our app. Panera. Live your yes. Pricing and product availability may vary. Visit PaneraBread.com.
Bringing the warmth and wonder of the season with timeless Christmas music and carols.
Hallmark Channel Radio returns to Sirius XM.
It's beginning to look a lot like Christmas.
Beloved Hallmark Channel stars like me, Candace Cameron Bure, will share their favorite holiday songs and behind-the-scenes stories of their all-new original holiday movie premieres. On now.
Through Christmas Day, Channel 104, and on the SXM app.
Is what progress sounds like.
Finally, Infrastructure Week.
Progress.
You like it?
It's brilliant.
It's the Stephanie Miller Show.
Yes, it is the Stephanie Miller Show. We're having our usual tomato-tomato fight. I'm just saying every other MSNBC anchor pronounced it differently. Joy and I believe Dr. Fauci went with Omicron, but then Omicron was bandied later in the evening.
It's the second thing that came up on Google was how to pronounce Omicron.
And they said Omicron or Omicron?
There are two different pronunciations that people in the English language pronounce it, but I would go with the original Greek, which I believe is Omicron.
Okay.
It's like pecan or pecan.
Tomato, tomato.
Potato, potato.
Oh,
let's call the whole thing off.
Mm-hmm. Before it kills us all.
Right.
Well, and by call the whole thing off, I mean stick it in.
Right.
You stupid mother.
Stick it in!
Thank you. Michael in Oakland, my pro bono lawyer. Hello, Michael. Welcome.
Hi, how you doing? I just wanted to let everybody know that you can listen to the live stream of the arguments in front of the U.S. Supreme Court tomorrow on the issue of whether or not Roe v. Wade will be overturned.
It's fantastic. It's like Handmaid's Tale meets Contagion. It's a fantastic news cycle, isn't it?
Well, it is like Handmaid's Tale because, I mean, if you force women to carry every pregnancy to term, you will be forcing hundreds of thousands of episiotomies and C-sections, God knows what other, healthcare procedures on.
And Michael, I don't know as a lawyer, but I believe I thought I heard a medical expert say that, because we're having this whole debate again we never thought we'd have, but the fetuses are not viable before 23 weeks. I mean, the fact that these are so, what is Texas, 6 weeks? People don't even know they're pregnant, right?
Well, and I think with this Mississippi thing, it's 15 weeks from the time you get pregnant, which is probably 13 weeks after the woman knows she's pregnant.
Yeah. Jody is here because she's the only one that really knows about Lady Bits. Chris and Travis and I don't really.
15 weeks. A woman would be 15 weeks pregnant, but she would have only known for 13 at that point. So it's really a 13-week ban.
Yeah. Go ahead, Michael. Sorry, I don't know what the legal.
Well, I was going to say, imagine what's going on in Texas. Women or people noticing that a woman maybe was gaining weight, and then she isn't at work for a couple of days, and then all of a sudden she's lost all that weight, and she's not throwing up in the morning anymore. Now the police get involved.
Yeah.
After all, this is a potential abortion, right?
But here we go. It's like,
by the way, if you say
it's like with COVID, isn't it, Michael? That here we have all these like Governor Tate Reeves, like just with medical misinformation again, whether it's about COVID or about pregnancies. Like, we know they feel pain or whatever, or they have a heartbeat, and it's like no. It's all of this stuff that doctors and scientists have said. No, it is an electrical pulse. It's not a heartbeat. I can't remember, what week it was at, but it's just, this is the problem. We're going to fight the same kind of medical misinformation, aren't we?
Well, not to mention, until birth, frankly, the Supreme Court kind of split the issue. I was going to say split the baby, but that pun doesn't sound very good right now. But split the issue in Roe, allowing regulation of abortion in the third trimester.
Right.
But for the entire pregnancy, let alone the first two trimesters,
and dependent on.
That is a scientific fact. And for the government to say that they can invade that privacy and literally force them, women, to carry pregnancy to term, is how you can say that women are not being treated as second, if not lower class citizens, because the government is telling them exactly what they have to do with their own health.
Yeah.
And anybody who says that health isn't an issue in pregnancy and childbirth, I mean, you have to be out of your mind.
And so, Michael, as a lawyer, what do you think is? I mean, you hear this analysis all over the place about what's going to happen with Mississippi, and and it's obviously we know there are people hostile to Roe on the Supreme Court, but obviously we have some mixed signals, right, from the Kavanaughs and Amy Coney Barrett, Coney Island, surprisingly enough.
Yeah, I wouldn't put a lot of stock in that. Okay, what I think they're probably going to do is they're going to figure out a way to all but overturn it. They're going to say that the idea of stare decisis, of precedent matters. So we're going to gut 99.999% of it, but say that we haven't overturned it. So they'll that's what I think that's what a lot of sort of scholars are saying is likely to happen. Make no mistake, people like Amy Coney Barrett, Gorsuch, Kavanaugh, for sure, Alito, Thomas, their animating principle since they walked through the doors of their law schools has been to overturn Roe v. Wade. Make no mistake. I don't care what signals they're putting out there. That is what they have lived for. Every single one of them. Okay?
Yeah.
And it's going to be interesting to hear. I think there's 3 female justices, how much they say and what they say. I mean, the other justices too, but it will be interesting to hear what they say about all this.
Yeah. Well, it is frightening times. Thanks, Michael. It really is. It's just, it's especially, Jody, in our lifetime, we're just not, it's just sort of incomprehensible. And as you keep saying to Karen or others, like, do women understand, do young girls understand what's happening here?
They've grown up with Roe being the law of the land, unless they live in North Dakota or other states where it's becoming harder and harder anyway. But most women in this country of childbearing years were born after Roe.
Yeah.
And so they don't know that you can't get one. And if
they will never. Why does anyone not ever ask the pointed question that Carlos asks every week here? How are you going to stop rich ladies from getting abortions?
That's never been
it's just absurd. We're having this conversation all over again.
Tom Hartman was saying that John Roberts advised Ronald Reagan that if he wanted to pass a law stating that abortion was illegal, you can write a law where the Supreme Court cannot review it.
Yeah.
So I say, should they do something like this?
Yeah.
The Democrats and Joe Biden pass a law that states abortion is legal in this country, and the Supreme Court cannot overrule it because that's part of the Constitution. Congress can regulate what the Supreme Court can do.
Okay. She's the smartest girl in the class for a reason, right?
Yeah. But that was from Tom Hartman.
It's okay. You just channel the smartest boy in class.
And Tom Hartman may have heard that from someone. So.
Yeah, it's John Roberts.
Tom Hartman tells fart jokes since he met me. So,
he does.
Yeah.
He does.
Don't take all the credit.
And he looked really stoned in the picture with me.
Tom Hartman?
Oh, yeah. I don't listen. No. We don't go for mindless gossip here.
Well, I mean, it's kind of common knowledge that he
does. He partake
amongst a little bit of the gotcha.
Rock on, Tom. Okay. It's legal. Would you like to get back to terrifying terrorist stack? Oh, I just blurbed Malcolm Nance's book.
You did.
You know what the name of the book is? They Want to Kill Americans. About the Trump insurgency. How long ago has he told us that?
Forever
ago. It is terrifying. Okay, a member of the Oath Keepers militia who was indicted for taking part in January 6th talked up blood in the streets in a private chat message with fellow militants. Malcolm has been warning about this forever, that this is a violent insurgency, long before January 6th happened. I mean, it's okay. Here's one good sign. Again, in the make racists afraid, again, make consequences for January 6th. That's all you can do is make them afraid. You can't just keep getting away with this.
That's right.
Right.
Yeah.
January 6th organizer Ali Alexander, who calls himself the founder of Trump's Stop the Steal movement, announced he will comply with the subpoena from the House committee. He added he respects his fellow patriots who are defying the committee, but said it's an expensive right, claiming it would cost between $250,000 and $500,000 to fight the subpoenas. He said, "I frankly don't have that money to spend on legal bills, so for this unselect committee." That's Trump's joke. Oh my God, so funny. I will actually be privately deposed in December. The only reason I'm going to do it is I don't want to go to jail. Good.
Yeah.
So under the threat of imprisonment and spending tens and thousands of dollars on lawyers, I will be privately deposed before the committee in September. He wrote he plans to submit to the committee photographic and video evidence of agitators sabotaging his January 6th peaceful protests. Yeah, we'll wait right here for that, for your evidence of infiltrators. Okay. How strong is the projection? Because we have actual evidence of right-wing, I was going to say saboteurs, but saboteurs.
Saboteurs. Omicron.
Musketeers.
Right? We know that. We know we have Kodachrome. The umbrella guy smashing the windows. White supremacist. The guy firing into the police station saying justice for George Floyd. White guy. Trying to, okay. Also, we should always be aware of Putin. Putin is behind all of these things, trying to stir up racial unrest and amplify, all of it, right? Vaccine mandates, vaccine misinformation, anything that will hurt or kill Americans or cause chaos and unrest here.
He picks at scabs of division in areas around the world, not just in the United States, in order to weaken other countries to make Russia stronger. It's that simple.
Right. Oh, did we get to Jared Kushner, also one of the dirtbags that belongs in jail for everything? Everything? January. Yeah. Can we legally just streamline? Can we just say everything, Judge?
I don't think we can. There have to be charges. Charges have to be a little bit specific.
They do like specifics. Yeah. It's unfortunate, but they do.
Okay, his grifty son-in-law is trying to grift money for his new investment firm in the Middle East. So far, he's having only mixed success. Well, that would be more success than he had in the Trump administration.
Yes.
Emirati leaders question his track record in business, which is abysmal, if you're paying attention, right? He's had very high-profile investment failures. Isn't that the biggest grift? Convincing anyone that Trump or Jared Kushner are somehow really big, successful businessmen when Trump's been bankrupt how many times? On casinos, and then Jared Kushner.
He lost money on casinos.
The Saudis are more interested because he helped them get away with it, or maybe even facilitated a Bonesaw murder. We don't really even know the truth of that whole thing yet, do we?
Hopefully, the truth will come out.
Maybe by the time he goes to prison, he will have formed, because he still only looks like a pollywog or a
tadpole.
Yeah, he's not quite fully formed. Something happened. I think the light bulb went out in the Easy Bake Oven when he was in his mom's.
He did.
When he was a bun in his mom's oven, the light bulb went out.
Looks like a caterpillar that hasn't turned into a moth.
Yes.
He's still a pupa.
A pupa.
Yes.
Pupa.
Omicron, Kodachrome, whatever.
Did you just call it pupa?
Another big bag of rats news. Trump and his allies are holding the threat of losing the House speakership over in Kevin McCarthy's head if he doesn't toe the line. There could conceivably be enough Republican dissatisfaction with McCarthy at that point. The party could look to other candidates. Mark Meadows recently said it could be Trump himself. Already such a spineless coward. I don't know how he could be more in line, right? Yeah. Okay. Oh, hey, I missed this one. In all the news about how awful Lauren Boebert is, I forgot to mention how awful her ex-campaign manager is.
Oh, boy.
Right. She recently worried that rank-and-file law enforcement officers at the FBI could start shooting babies in the back of the head.
What?
Because she said the country is on a similar path to Nazi Germany.
What?
Oh, she was the one that was recently raided by the FBI because I think she gave proprietary election information to... Right. She was implicated in a plot to leak voting machine passwords to a right-wing blog, so that's why. Wow, you know what's going to be crowded for lunch today? Between the Fox ladies saying Dr. Fauci is worse than Dr. Mengele. I would leave now.
Yeah, East Coast time is 11:15.
They're going to run out of toys for the unhappy meal. Very, very unhappy meal.
And the toys are really dangerous.
Yeah.
Do they call it a Schadenfreude meal?
Yes. The toys are things like bags of broken glass.
Right.
Yeah.
Hey, you want to freak Frangela out again? Stille Nacht. Heilige Nacht.
I love that freaks them out. I had to learn it. It wasn't my choice.
I know, me neither.
Oh, Tannenbaum doesn't have that sound.
Yeah. Forcing kids to learn Silent Night in German in 4th grade.
Why?
What's not Hitlerberger about that?
Why did they do that?
Because it was a German song.
Oh, okay. Sorry. 47 minutes after the hour, this portion of the show brought to you by my Bombas socks. We willy-nilly get a lot of testimonials for Bombas socks.
Yes.
On the Twitters, on the emails.
Yes.
Someone said she runs a lot, and it's like getting a foot massage while you're running. Wow. I'm not kidding. I love my Bombas socks. I've got everything, as you know. I've got all performance. I've got running. I've got hiking. I've got cycling socks. Thank you, Debbie Boone. Okay. Bombas designed their socks, shirts, and underwear to be the clothes you cannot wait to put on every day. Everything they make is soft, seamless, tagless, and luxuriously cozy feel. They are made from super soft materials like merino wool, Pima cotton, even cashmere, which makes them the perfect cozy winter layers. There's a pair of Bombas, and they've branched into underwears, t-shirts, and for every pair you buy of anything, they give a pair to someone in need. It's Giving Tuesday.
Yeah, it is.
Doesn't that make you feel warm and fuzzy for the holiday season? Yes. I'm excited. Bombas are the coziest gifts for everyone on your list. Everyone loves it. Go to bombas.com/Stephanie. Get 20% off any purchase during their big holiday sale. That's bombas.com/Stephanie. 20% off. Bombas.com/Stephanie.
Stephanie Miller.
Yeah, the full set of curves. And the kind of legs you'd like to suck on for a day. Yep. This was starting to get interesting.
Well, you know I've been telling you all about Genucel by Chamonix for months now, how much I love their XV cream. But do you know what makes it so special? It's proprietary base. It was whipped up by a small-town pharmacist for one of his customers who was looking for a new wrinkle cream. That's right, Genucel by Chamonix started at a local pharmacy in Jersey. It's now sold over 1 million products. 1 million people all across the country, both men and women, once they try Genucel, they fall in love and buy them again and again. I'm telling you, in my vintage, I've tried just about everything. I love Genucel. Fine lines, forehead wrinkles, dark spots, bags, puffiness under your eyes, gone right before your eyes. Best of all, with instant effects, they guarantee results in as little as 12 hours, or you get your money back. It's that simple. I love this stuff. From now until Christmas, Genucel's most popular package is 60% off at lovegenucel.com/Stephanie. Treat yourself and a loved one to the absolute best skincare in the world. Just go to lovegenucel.com/Stephanie. Enter my special promo code Stephanie for an extra special holiday present. Well, what better way to bring light and comfort to others this holiday season and all throughout the year than with Annie's Kit Club's Caring Crochet Club. Every 4 weeks, you'll receive a kit with all the materials to crochet a new project. Annie's has partnered with respected organizations that are making a true difference in the lives of others. Each month's project highlights a specific cause or reputable organization that will pass your handmade gift along to a person in need of warmth and kindness. It's such a heartfelt way to put your creativity to good use, making a direct impact on people's lives. Make the world a little brighter, one stitch at a time, with Annie's Caring Crochet Kit Club. Subscriptions are month to month. You can cancel at any time. And as a special offer, check this out. You get your first kit for 75% off. Go to annieskitclubs.com/Stephanie. My nephew loves his woodworking kit. I'm making cards. I'm making Christmas ornaments. Everybody loves their Annie's Kit Club crafting. Go now, annieskitclubs.com/Stephanie. 75% off. You heard me right. annieskitclubs.com/Stephanie.
This is what progress sounds like.
It took a guy like Joe Biden, who's been using and thinking about and deeply invested in infrastructure in his own political career, to get this transformational, once-in-a-lifetime set of investments out the door, creating millions of jobs, turning the climate crisis into a climate opportunity, and building us up on a path towards much more fulsome global economic competition. The president's fingerprints are all over these results.
The time for progress is now. Progress.
Snow falls on an old apartment. Inside, the holiday season is in swing. On the first floor, Cokes are poured and stories shared among friends. 3 flights up, one generation passes down the family recipe to the next. Inside every home, there's magic. Coca-Cola, real magic.
Enjoy the real magic of the season with close friends, family, and refreshing Coca-Cola paired with all your holiday meals.
Hello, this is Discover, and we take customer service very seriously. We know that if you have a question or concern about your credit card, that's a serious matter, and you need to talk to a real person about it. So we offer around-the-clock access to seriously talented representatives in the USA. Again, it's a serious endeavor. The only funny thing about it is Bob. If you call us and Bob answers, you're in for a treat. Get 100% US-based customer service and talk to a real person day or night. Discover. Exceptionally common sense.
Happy holidays don't just happen on their own. You make them happen with a little help from new appliances at the Home Depot. Because warm wishes won't roast that turkey. You'll want a new convection oven for that. An air fryer will help make the season light and delicious. And while you're at it, consider a new LG or Samsung fridge that's big enough to hold all kinds of Christmas cheer. Make the holidays yours with the season's best savings on top appliances at the Home Depot. How doers get more done.
Yo, we off the. Yo, we off the. Yo, we off the. Yo, we off the. Yo.
Steffi.
What?
Yo,
What? It is the Stephanie Miller Show with Jody Hamilton, everybody's favorite day, everybody's favorite girl. Hello.
Jody on the show.
Yes, from the bunker. That's how you find her on the Twitters and on the podcasts.
Yes.
From the bunker, JR.
Yes,
Okay.
like Junior, but it's not. It stands for Jody and Ricky.
Okay. Oh, right. We've been talking about January 6th. Oh, this is a happy headline. We'll get into more tomorrow. Trump attorney goes down in flames after judge asks hypothetical question about executive privilege. Is there a circumstance where the former president ever gets to make this sort of call, the judge asked, over the current president? I believe the answer would be no. Yeah. Okay. So I wanted them to go all the way to the top, but also the funding of January 6th, Jody. A dark money nonprofit with ties to the Koch brothers. Koch suckers again.
They're back.
Well, one brother's dead, so
they've been funneling. One of the Dukes is dead.
Yeah, one of the Dukes has died.
He's dirt. It was the Dukes.
He's dirt.
F him.
Trading places.
Turn those machines back on! That's my money!
Your brother's having a heart attack.
That's right.
It's my money!
Okay.
Travis, are you the one who's never seen that movie?
Never seen it.
Oh my God.
It's very funny.
It's very, very funny.
I only got a laugh from Chris. Only Die Hard is the only reference I can make that he gets. Anybody gets in here?
It's a Christmas movie.
Nobody has watched Rocky. Oh my God.
I have. I saw it in the theater.
It's the perfect thing about the variants, right? The first one was Apollo Creed. Second one was Clubber Lang. We're on to Dolph Lundgren now.
Yeah, but Apollo became one of the good guys.
Eventually.
If he dies, he dies.
Who was the opponent in Rocky 2?
Apollo Creed was the first. Was Apollo Creed in the second one too?
Yes, he was in the
yes,
second one
in the
as
second
well.
one as well. Yes.
And then Clubber Lang was 3.
Yes, and then
because in the first one, spoiler
Dolph
alert,
Lundgren kills. Oh, I'm sorry. Spoiler alert. Apollo Creed.
What? Apollo Creed in 4. We all know that.
All right. Well, he dies.
and Michael B. Jordan is his son.
Yes. Okay. Here's my point. The dark money nonprofit with ties to the Koch family has been funneling millions of dollars into organizations promoting white supremacy as well as supporters of Trump linked to the January 6th insurrection. Oh my God, dark money in this country.
Follow the money.
Right. Yes. The nonprofit took in $360 million last year to disperse as it sees fit. Donations have been linked to the organizers of January 6th. They've been called the dark money ATM of the right.
Wow.
Here's the good news. The so-called audit of the 2020 election in Arizona uncovered more votes for President Biden, but also left the company doing the audit. Broke. Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Doug, Cyber Ninjas. CEO is $2 million in debt. Yes, this is my point. Let's put them all in jail.
Yeah.
Penniless.
Yes.
Just,
yeah.
Right. Trump's fans and funders collected nearly $6 million for the Republican audit, but the state is already being forced to pay $3 million to replace Maricopa County's electronic voting machines because they were tampered with in the audit. The state Senate accounting records calculated the account cost taxpayers $9 million, and that comes before cyber ninjas were involved.
Yep.
It's a bit like their voting systems were ransomwared and held hostage for $9 million, and now they have to find a way to pay for it. Good. Let's make their consequences for all this financially, in prison, whatever it is. Okay, remember the crazy Melissa, the crazy drunkie lady with the
in Michigan.
Rudy Giuliani's star voter fraud witness in Michigan.
Oh, that lady, I loved her.
I did love her. Did you take the machines and do something, Sue? What did you do?
I was just drinking.
What did you do? Did you take the machines and do something?
I just think you did something.
You did something funny to it, didn't you?
Alcohol, Mr. Ossifer, I'm not under the influence of alcohol.
She's fantastic. It turns out she looks like she did not vote at all. So that's
even better.
Of course.
All right, you know what? I love our friend Richard Painter. Where has he been? Because he always is here to tell us how the relative temperature of Donald Trump's goose is. The DOJ has additional charges to file against Donald Trump after the Office of Special Counsel found 13 senior Trump officials violated the Hatch Act.
This goose is cooked here.
All right, listen, I'll take anything at this point, Richard. The threshold legal determination Garland or a special prosecutor must make is whether Trump coerced or ordered the political activity identified as the Hatch Act. If so, Trump could be liable to prosecution for political coercion under the aforementioned statute. Wouldn't it be that fantastic if it's just...
.org. We believe the majority of voices should be heard, but it doesn't seem to work that way anymore, does it? Take that new Texas abortion law. In a recent poll, only 13% of Texans said abortion should be banned in all cases, and yet Texas legislators voted not only to ban it outright, they want to deputize citizens as peeping Tom vigilantes, seeking bounties for ratting out neighbors. However you come down on abortion, how can any American condone this attempt to resurrect the evils of McCarthyism? Ever since you were a kid voting in school elections, the majority vote prevailed. So why isn't that true now? Why do our representatives disrespect the wishes of the majority? We are Democrats, Republicans, and Independents, but most importantly, we are Majority Rules Americans. Help us get the word out. Please visit letmajorityrule.org to learn more. That's letmajorityrule.org. Let Majority Rule is a project of the Martin Lucas Super PAC, which paid for this ad and is responsible for its content. On the web at letmajorityrule.org and martinlucassuperpac.com. Not authorized by any candidate or candidates committee.
The Tom Hartman Show is coming up next on Sirius XM Progress 127, right after your news update.
Amid the COVID Omicron variant's emergence, the CDC now recommends all adults get a booster shot. It's a departure from what the CDC had previously been saying. It comes as Pfizer is expected to ask the FDA for authorization for its COVID vaccine booster for 16 and 17-year-olds. The Treasury Secretary is sounding alarms about the U.S. debt limit.
America must pay its bills on time and in full. If we do not, we will eviscerate our current recovery.
During a Senate hearing, Janet Yellen said the U.S. will default on debt obligations if the debt limit is not raised or extended by December 15th. She argued a default may push the U.S. into recession. Yellen warned the fallout from a default would be swift and widespread. Meantime, she said the economic recovery remains on track. The Biden administration is looking to reinstate the controversial Remain in Mexico immigration policy this week, thanks to a court order. Border experts like Rice University professor Trey Payan says the Mexican government must agree to accept back asylum seekers, and that will come with concessions.
Mexico has found the weak spot, and they found that they can give President Biden their way on immigration at the expense of everything else.
He says Mexico will likely ask that the U.S. look the other way when it comes to their lax policies on organized crime. When the protocol was in place, it kept migrants in shelters and strained resources in Mexican border communities. FedEx is ringing in the peak holiday shopping season with a record-setting projection. Following Cyber Monday, the shipping giant says it expects to see a 10% increase in shipments over last year. Experts say the jump was anticipated with shopping at traditional brick-and-mortar stores down on Black Friday and Small Business Saturday. The Jussie Smollett trial continues today. The former Empire actor is accused of faking a hate crime in Chicago in 2019. Prosecutors are scheduled to begin presenting witnesses in their case today. I'm Lisa Taylor.
Come Comedy Gold Mines, a Kevin Hart podcast.
We get inside the minds of brilliant comedians, and oh my God, what amazing minds they are. Tiffany had us on the show today. I love you, Kevin. Who does Jerry Seinfeld love when it comes to comedy?
Bernie Mac,
Eddie Murphy, and Arsenio Hall.
Thanks for having us, bro. You too, Kevin.
Ladies and gentlemen, David Letterman.
You're really good at this.
Get ready to get real, people.
Comedy Gold Mines, Kevin Hart's Laugh Out Loud Radio, Channel 96, and the SXM app. SiriusXM radios are on free now through December 6th. Visit SiriusXM.com/listen free to learn more.
What if you could give someone their sight back? Over 36 million people are unnecessarily blind, but many could see again after a simple surgery. See International performs sight-restoring surgeries for those in need around the world. For as little as $25, you can help someone see again. See has restored the sight of over 650,000 people and has the highest rating from Charity Navigator. Make your $25 donation today and know that you're transforming someone's life forever. Call 888-3VISION or visit GiveSightNow.com. That's GiveSightNow.com.
What's all the buzz about nasal irrigation and Navage? And should I try it? Here's the science. Airborne germs invade through your nose. It's the body's air filter for trapping allergens and viruses. When your nose gets clogged, it's less effective and germs multiply. Eventually, your immune system can get overwhelmed and you get sick. Nasal irrigation is an effective, all-natural way to clean your nose. It's not a drug, it's more like plumbing. Saline goes in one nostril, around the back of the nose, and out the other nostril, flushing out mucus and germs. I'm Martin Hoke, and I invented Navage to make cleaning your nose easy. It's the world's only nose cleaner with powered suction. Navage pulls out the bad stuff so you can breathe better, sleep deeper, snore less, and feel healthier. At Walgreens, CVS, Rite Aid, Target, Bed Bath, and Walmart, or go to Navage.com for a free gift with purchase. Over 2 million sold. Navage, Navage. Clean nose, healthy life.
Life is about moments. Good moments. Bad moments. Awkward moments. Super awkward moments. And magic moments. Magic moments like when you stay for breakfast, or when you realize it's more than just a fling, or when that first date never ends. And when those moments come, you need to be ready. Roman ready. Being Roman ready means you have the confidence and control to perform when the moment comes. Roman is a men's healthcare clinic that gives guys the assuredness they need to enjoy life and be present. Go to GetRoman.com/healthy and connect with a U.S. licensed healthcare professional. If appropriate, they can prescribe ED treatment to help you be Roman ready. Visit today, and if you're prescribed, get $15 off your first month of ED treatment.
Looking for the perfect gift? Get him a shirt from Untuck It. Now get up to 50% off at the Cyber Monday sale and even deeper discounts on some of our favorite styles happening now at Untuck It. Untuck It shirts are designed to be worn untucked. They're the easiest way to keep them looking sharp and feeling comfortable. You can't go wrong with a gift of their super soft flannels and wrinkle-free shirts. So don't miss the Cyber Monday sale on now at your nearest Untuck It store or at untuckit.com. Untuck It. Shirts designed to be worn untucked.
This is what progress sounds like.
This is the opportunity to make good on our promises to the multi-racial, multi-generational coalition of issues-based activists and voters who made this majority and this mandate possible. Our greatest wealth as a nation is the health of our people, and so we have got to make those robust investments in human infrastructure to support the health of our people, the stabilization of families.
Progress.
This is the Tom Hartman Program.
Well, the Trump death toll stands at 801,326 dead Americans. Many could have been avoided had Donald Trump, done any basic science stuff and like many other countries did. We've got a lot in our program today. Revealed the racist plot to tear America apart. We'll get to that in a minute. The last thing that should ever happen in America, frankly, is that a political party would choose to use racial or religious hatred as a primary tool to win elections, inching America closer to bloodshed. But that's what's going on. Also in this hour, I want to get into how will you handle another lockdown. We've got just an absolutely shocking comment from the CEO of Moderna to the Financial Times this morning. I'll tell you about that. In our second hour, Republicans have a great new idea to fix the labor shortage. Let's just loosen child labor laws. Right. We'll get into that. And we've got an amazing geeky science about dreaming. In our third hour, Dean Obadala is going to be with us, my colleague on SiriusXM here on SiriusXM, the Progress channel on SiriusXM. And he's written a brilliant piece for MSNBC about the GOP's long embrace of anti-Muslim hate, which is sort of the bookend to my opening piece on basically anti-black, or let's say generally more racist hate that the Republican Party has been embracing since 1964. And you have to ask the question, what rational country would literally throw away, or I guess metaphorically, throw away the genius of their children just because of their skin color? What rational country does that? What politician who loves their country would knowingly promote racial and religious hatred? And yet this is the insanity into which the Republican Party has descended. The latest example is Lauren Boebert calling Ilhan Omar a terrorist, and then calling up, refusing to apologize, and demanding that Ilhan Omar go before the American people and apologize for something. For America's entire history, our politics have turned on issues of race. This goes back to literally the founding of our republic. And there have always been politicians who have used race as basically a political weapon. And what I find fascinating right now is in our mainstream media, open today's paper, Washington Post, New York Times, whatever it may be, and you will find lots of articles about how, look at this, through the gerrymandering, the Republicans no longer even have an answer to their voters. We're going to see Republicans disproportionately take control of North Carolina and Texas and Georgia and Michigan and Wisconsin, and blah, blah, blah. It's all this horse race stuff, and what that's going to mean for Republican politicians, but nobody is talking about why Republicans are doing what they're doing. Why? There's an almost total lack of issue-based analysis. And yet, the last time white people in America, which is the majority of America, I think we're down to around 70% now, but the last time white people in America voted more than 50% for a Democrat for president was 1964, Lyndon Johnson. But the Democrats are clear about issues. They're working to expand Medicare for all seniors, dental, vision, and hearing. They want to expand Medicaid for all low-income working people. And the word all is the important one here. Unemployment insurance to save all families when the economy hiccups. A cleaner environment for everybody. Good-paying union jobs for all workers. A $15 minimum wage for all working people. Free or low-cost college and trade school for everybody. Free universal pre-K for all children. Paid sick leave and family leave for all workers. Less expensive prescription drugs for everyone. Rebuilding our nation's infrastructure so we can all use it. Now, the Republicans have literally opposed every single one of those things that I just mentioned. The one small exception to that would be the so-called bipartisan infrastructure bill, which has several $100 billion of corporate subsidies in it, which was the price that Republicans demanded to have a handful of them sign off on it. But what are Republicans promising their mostly white voters? This is what they're running on. They're going to stop teaching the history of black and native people in schools. They're going to build a wall on our southern border to stop brown people from entering. They want to change voting laws to cut back on hours and locations, voting locations in black neighborhoods, making for multi-hour waits to vote. They want to push school choice so white families can send their kids to all-white schools. They want to put in more tax cuts for the 99% white billionaires and the 90.1% white male-run giant corporations. They want to defend white supremacy militias, or at least promise to ignore their threats and crimes. They want to loosen gun laws so we'll have more and deadlier weapons of war on our streets. They want to reduce criminal penalties for injuring or killing protesters with cars. They want to privatize Social Security and Medicare so their bankster donors can scam us and suck retirees dry. And they attack any programs that push America toward racial equality of opportunity, income, or wealth as so-called anti-white discrimination. This is the Republican Party's agenda. This is what they are selling America. I mean, in that, you find the answer to the question, why are Republicans choosing the path they're on? Well, because they believe pandering to racists and inflaming racism, homophobia, religious intolerance will win them elections. This started in a big way for the GOP in 1968 with Richard Nixon's Southern strategy, as you well know. And they've now branded the Republican Party with things that, frankly, used to be Democratic brands prior to 68. You know, the blue-collar worker, the rural hunter, the country music crowd, NASCAR, wrestling fans. I was a country western DJ in the late 60s. I think it was 1967, 68. It must have been 67. I was 16. And Democrats loved country western music. Republicans not so much, because back then the Republicans were kind of the party of the wealthy. They were the party of the you know, kind of the Main Street Republicans, you know, the small businesses. But that was the Republican brand. But now they've appropriated the whole thing. None of those things really should be political, though. You know, this is just America. Millions of Democrats like country music and believe guns and think we can have a multiracial society, a multi-ethnic, a multi-religious society. And in fact, it'll make us stronger. I mean, what rational country, after all, would intentionally block or throw away the talent and genius of an entire generation of young people who could change the world for the better just because of their skin pigment? Citibank published a report in 2020, this last year, the big bank, Citibank. And in that report, they looked at the period, the last 10 years, 2000 through 2020. And they showed that all of America lost $16 trillion in gross domestic product because of discriminatory lending practices, kneecapping entrepreneurs in black neighborhoods. That was about $13 trillion. Discriminatory hiring and other business practices cut black wages by $2.7 trillion, and hundreds of billions of dollars were lost to housing and education discrimination. This is really one of the biggest challenges America has faced since the Civil War, is this issue of, not just the issue of race, but the issue of one of our two major political parties wrapping themselves in racism and Islamophobia, and also anti-Semitism. Democrats have worked for almost a century to produce and maintain a strong middle class so people can reach their greatest potential and raise their families without constant economic anxiety. The Republican Party? No, they've been, pushing policies of religious and racial separation and oligarchy. And, their only consequential policy, literally the only serious major piece of legislation that was passed during the 4 years of the Trump administration was a $2 trillion tax cut for rich people and corporations that over 10 years is going to be $9 trillion. Oh, but we can't pass a $2.5 trillion bill that will expand Medicare. Oh, we can't afford to do that. I mean, you've got white supremacists roaming the streets with weapons of war, terrorizing shoppers. This happened in Long Island a couple days ago. You had a white supremacist travel to El Paso and murdered 22 people after writing, "This attack is a response to the Hispanic invasion of Texas," using language that Donald Trump had used repeatedly. Invasion. Tucker Carlson, it's the white replacement theory. Another white supremacist murdered 9 black people at the Mother Emanuel Church in Charleston, South Carolina, while shouting white racist rhetoric. The list of unarmed black people murdered by police is so long, I couldn't list it here. It's got its own wiki page on Wikipedia. Like we were discussing greed yesterday. Greed is never going to go away. Racism is never going to go away. But both can be weakened through, racism specifically in this case, can be weakened through integration and education. It can be controlled by the force of law, and it can be removed from our public square by our nation agreeing to shame racists and white supremacists, people like Lauren Boebert. When we've tried these tools, they've been quite effective. Look at our military. Yes, they still have a ways to go. Yes, there are still problems, racial problems in our military, but they are light years ahead of much of the rest of America. The last thing we should ever have is a political party using race like this as a weapon, as a political weapon. We have the opportunity to show the world that it is possible for people of different races and religions to work together and to live together in harmony and peace and make a better nation and a better world. But that's not going to happen as long as the GOP keeps exploiting racial and religious hatred for fundraising and naked political purposes.
This is the Thom Hartmann Program.
We'll be right back. What are we going to do with the lockdown that might be coming if this Omicron is worse than we think?
Do you own a timeshare? Well, face the facts. You made a mistake. You made a bad purchase. A timeshare is not an investment. It's a money pit that continues forever. If you use your timeshare, that's great. But if you don't, and you want to legally get out of your contract, call my friends right now at the Timeshare Exit Hotline. They're an experienced team of lawyers who help good people like you get out of a timeshare contract that they just don't want. Don't throw away your money on maintenance fees. Use it for things you really want. We can help you end your timeshare contract and stop the money drain immediately. If you're ready to move on with your timeshare, call our team right now.
Cancel your timeshare now with a free call. 800-897-1434. 800-897-1434. 800-897-1434. That's 800-897-1434.
College Football Conference Championship Week is on Sirius XM.
Alabama wins the SEC.
We're previewing every game right now on our Power 5 Conference channels. Our analysts are looking at all the key matchups and how the results will impact the college football playoff.
If they're your Big Ten champion and you're a one-loss team, you're going to be in.
On channels 371 to 375 and on the SXM app. Sirius XM radios are on free now through December 6th. Visit SiriusXM.com/listen free to learn more.
Attention Americans age 65 and older. The Medicare annual enrollment period ends December 7th. Now is the time to select your Medicare Advantage plan for 2022. Get ready for an important toll-free hotline where you can get your free 2022 Medicare benefits review. Do you currently have a copay, a high deductible? Do you pay extra for dental and vision? Are your out-of-pocket expenses just too high? If you answered yes to any of these, then call 800-987-3107. A SmartMatch licensed insurance agent can help you compare plans, which can include $0 copays, $0 deductibles, even $0 premiums, plus dental and vision coverage for no additional cost. Having the wrong Medicare plan can cost you thousands. So call today before annual enrollment ends on December 7th. The service is free, with no obligation. So call today. Call 800-987-3107. That's 800-987-3107. 800-987-3107.
Terms and conditions posted at textplan.us. Texting enrolls for recurring limited marketing messages. Message and data rates may apply. Replace stop to opt out. Advertisement by the law firm of Barron & Budd, Dallas, Texas.
Attention! Anyone who uses HIV medications containing TDF such as Truvada or Vareed, you must hear this, as you may be entitled to compensation. Studies have found popular PrEP and HIV medications containing TDF, like Truvada, have been linked to chronic kidney disease or an increase in bone density loss. If you or a loved one took Truvada or another HIV medication containing TDF and were diagnosed with kidney disease or bone density loss, text USE to 323232 right now, as you may be entitled to compensation. Patients who took these popular PrEP and HIV medications can text now to see if they qualify to join others taking legal action against Gilead Sciences, the maker of these antiviral drugs. But hurry, time is limited. If you or a loved one used HIV medications containing TDF, such as Truvada or Vareed, text USE to 323232 right now, as you may be entitled to compensation. Text the word USE to 323232. Text USE to 323232.
Do not stop taking any prescribed medication without speaking to your doctor.
Tell me everything with John Fugelsang.
The House Democrats passed this sprawling bill that would fulfill a big part of what Biden wants to do about the safety net, a big part of what he wants to do on climate change. There's a lot of good here, right?
Absolutely. $2 trillion can make a hell of a difference in this country right now.
Tell Me Everything with John Fugelsang. Weekdays, 9 p.m. East, 3 West. On Sirius XM Progress 127. On demand and on the SXM app.
Threshold. Share the Tom Hartman program with your friends. We're available on SiriusXM, Free Speech TV, Pacifica, commercial stations nationwide, YouTube, Twitter, Facebook, on the Tom Hartman app, and you can even tell your smart speaker to listen to the Tom Hartman program. 22 minutes past the hour. Welcome back. Tom Hartman here with you. Okay, let's talk about plagues, pandemics. You'll recall a week or two ago, I went into a kind of long rant about how nobody knows exactly what's going to happen, but the different directions this virus might take in the course of mutation, how it might mutate. And what we appear to have seen over the years with other viruses, and I learned a lot of this back a decade or more ago reading Laura Garrett's book, The Coming Plague, in which she basically predicted what's going on right now. And one of the things that I pointed out is the next virus, the next mutation of the coronavirus, of this particular COVID coronavirus, the next mutation may well be able to get around vaccines. It may be more deadly. It also might be less deadly. That may well be what we have seen with the common cold, for example, which at one point in time might have been much more dangerous. But the less deadly version outcompeted the more deadly version. But, it's not, and people say, well, viruses don't like to be deadly because they then kill their hosts. Yeah, but, a 1% death rate, which is what we've got right now, or 2%, it's 3% in some parts of the world, but still, a single-digit death rate with a virus is not enough to slow the virus down from spreading and mutating. When you get like Ebola, which has a 60 or 70% death rate, then you've got a death rate that's enough to actually slow the spread of the virus, or make it harder for the virus to spread and replicate and mutate. But that's very much not the case with this. So we don't know yet. And there's at least one physician in South Africa who is saying it looks like this virus might be milder. There are others, however, who are saying we really don't know, because South Africa and also because and also that this physician in South Africa is saying we don't know if it's going to how it's going to deal with the vaccines, and the reasons are twofold. Number one, he's saying it looks like it's not quite so severe, but South Africa is one of those countries that has a very large young population and a relatively small old population. And the old population that they do have was just largely decimated by the original COVID. And young people are getting seriously ill from Omicron. But, we just don't know in the general population. We will find out in the next couple of weeks. But this is the shocking thing. This was in the Financial Times. Stéphane Bancel is the CEO of Moderna. And what he said to the Financial Times was, all the scientists I've talked to are like, this is not going to be good. Speaking of Omicron. He told the Financial Times there would be a, quote, material drop, end quote, in the effectiveness of current vaccines against Omicron. That's the bad news. Now, the good news is that the vaccine manufacturers are all saying, give us 2 months and we're all set. So the next lockdown, if there is one, and if there is, whether it is by dictate, government fiat, which I'm thinking is increasingly unlikely given, how militant the Trump holes have become. Or whether it's simply de facto, it's just, rational people say, okay, that's it, I'm not leaving the house for a couple months. The next one's only going to last a couple months. in all probability, until there's a new vaccine available, if that's what's needed. Are you ready? I'm getting there. I mean, we've learned so many good lessons from the past. I think that, no matter how this plays out, worse, easily evades the vaccine, kills people, or less likely to kill people. However it plays out, I feel personally, just speaking for myself, I'm not representing any kind of scientific point of view here, but I feel like we have enough experience with this thing that we can take a deep breath and say, okay, if I don't have, if I'm not going to go to a restaurant for the next couple of months, I can live with that. How about you?
You're listening to the Thom Hartmann program. Call 202-808-9925.
How might this play out in your community, and and will it influence the mask holes? Will we see any change in their behavior? Holidays in full swing, Louise and I are in the market for simple and delicious meals without devoting hours to prep time in the kitchen. HelloFresh helps us out by delivering pre-portioned, farm-fresh ingredients right to our doorstep, saving us time without skimping on quality. With 50 menu and market options changing every week, we always get the variety we enjoy. Their quick and easy recipes cut down on meal prep and cleanup, just like the one-pan smashed black bean tacos with creamy slaw, pickled onion, and red pepper crema. It took us less than 30 minutes to make, and the flavors were out of this world. Beyond meals, they've got grab-and-go breakfast, snacks, and sides to keep everyone satisfied throughout the day. And seasonal goodies like ginger-spiced cake truffles make dessert extra sweet this time of year. Go to HelloFresh.com/Tom14 and use that code Tom14 for 14 free meals across 5 boxes plus 3 free gifts. That's code Tom14 at HelloFresh.com/Tom14. HelloFresh.com/Tom14.
An adult elephant can weigh up to 6 tons. The average person, 150 pounds. Ever heard of carfentanil? It's a large wild animal tranquilizer. Illegal drug dealers lace heroin with it. It can kill the average human. If you or a loved one is addicted to opiates, even pain pills, don't wait until it's too late. Call the Detox and Treatment Helpline now. We care. Many of us have been where you are. We'll take you or a loved one away from the drug environment to a place you can clean out safely. Plus, we'll work with your insurance company to make sure you get the treatment you need. And with a Family Medical Leave Act, you're allowed by law to get away for help without telling your employer why. Call now to save a life. 800-208-5187. 800-208-5187. That's 800-208-5187.
Dive deeper into the music you love with brand new Deep Cuts channels exclusively on the SXM app. From Octane to Fly to Pop 2K. More than a dozen new channels designed to feed your need for music discovery. Try them now, only on the SXM app. And tell your friends and family their SiriusXM radios are on free now through December 6th. They can just press the button to listen in the car, plus stream on their phone and at home. Visit SiriusXM.com/listen-free to learn more.
What if you could give someone their sight back? Over 36 million people are unnecessarily blind, but many could see again after a simple surgery. See International performs sight-restoring surgeries for those in need around the world. For as little as $25, you can help someone see again. See has restored the sight of over 650,000 people and has the highest rating from Charity Navigator. Make your $25 donation today and know that you're transforming someone's life forever. Call 888-3VISION or visit GiveSightNow.com. That's GiveSightNow.com.
You're not aging like everyone else. You march to the beat of your own drum because aging can be fun. It can be won. If you're listening for the right beat, the heartbeat, the super beat with a yummy treat that's good to eat, Super Beats Heart Chews. You can choose yummy on-the-go heart-healthy energy packed with polyphenols and antioxidants. Set a new precedent when you savor pomegranate berry flavor and the exact extract of clinically researched premium grape seed for the energy and blood pressure support you need. Grandma, mamas, papas, dads, and mothers. No worries, no artificial sweeteners, flavors, or synthetic colors. Plant-based heart support made easy. You'll see. Just 2 delicious chews a day. Choose to age with the energy to play. Super Beats Heart Chews.
This holiday season, get 50% off a 30-day supply of Super Beats Heart Chews with your first purchase. And when you subscribe, you'll get a free 30-day supply of Super Grapes Chews at superbeats.com/XM. When you buy 1 bag of Super Beats Heart Chews, you'll get the second bag for 50% off, plus free shipping and returns. That's superbeats.com/XM. superbeats.com/XM. These statements have not been evaluated by the FDA. This product is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease.
Hey, John. By the way, how is your wife feeling? Thanks for asking. Remember I told you she had shingles? Her doctor prescribed medicine, but it just had too many side effects. A friend told us about Alevicin. She used it and had immediate relief. Her rash was gone overnight. I know about Alevicin. My daughter has eczema. Her doctor prescribed medicine and cream that just didn't work. I bought Alevicin at Walmart, and her rash was gone in 2 days. It was amazing. Alevicin, olive leaf medicine, now available at your local pharmacy, grocery store, and Walmarts nationwide.
For eligible individuals 18 or older only. Results vary. See website for details and important safety information.
Who wants second-rate anything? What about second-rate hearing aids? No thanks. Well, great news. With Lively Hearing Aids, you get first-rate premium hearing aid technology at a fraction of the national average price. That's right. You don't have to compromise on hearing aid quality. You get the latest hearing aid technology for less. Lively is all remote, from initial hearing tests to continuing care from your audiology team. And that saves you time and money. Now you can get first-rate hearing aid technology at a price you can afford, which means you can use what you save to take a vacation. First rate, of course. Spend less, hear better with Lively. Now get $100 off your hearing aids when you go to listenlively.com/progress. That's listenlively.com/progress. listenlively.com/PROGRESS. This is what progress sounds like.
It is a once-in-a-generation investment. I'm talking about the bipartisan infrastructure deal. It will create millions of jobs, modernize our infrastructure. This is for America to make an investment in places and people in climate that have been absent for so long. Pipe fitters, plumbers are going to get good jobs replacing lead water pipes so kids can finally drink clean water. Transformational investments in railroad, bridges, public transit, ports.
Progress.
Missed my opening rant today? It's usually published over at HartmanReport.com, where you can read it and share it with your friends for free. Check it out, HartmanReport.com. Welcome back. Tom Hartman here with you. One other, with regard to the, are you ready for the lockdown? One other data point for you. Again, because it is too early for us to have any meaningful epidemiological information about the Omicron variant. It has not spread widely enough among vaccinated populations for us to really know how effective the vaccines that are out there are against it. That said, what the companies that are manufacturing vaccines and manufacturing anti-viral treatments like the monoclonal antibodies, what they can do is they can test this new virus, and their products in a lab environment. Right? They can't. They can't go out and count the number of people. Oh, we have 200,000 people infected, and 1,000 of them were vaccinated, 100,000 weren't. And here's we can't do that yet. That's gonna be probably the week before Christmas. We'll have meaningful data, but these lab tests are just literally today starting to come out. Today, it was reported in the Financial Times that the head of Moderna said he doesn't think that their vaccine works as effectively against Omicron. And now this just also came out. This is on the Financial Times website. Went up 3 minutes ago, actually. The headline, early tests indicate Regeneron drug may be less effective against Omicron. Keep in mind, this is the drug that Ron DeSantis set up treatment centers all over Florida to treat people who refuse to get vaccinated but get COVID. If you get, you've got to show up, and they put a vein in your arm, and they drip this stuff in for a half hour, and it's a monoclonal antibody. And it specifically helps your immune system or aids your immune system in attacking the SARS-CoV-19 virus. Well, this is via Reuters on the Financial Times this morning. Early testing indicates that the mutations in the Omicron variant of coronavirus may hamper the ability of Regeneron's antibody drug to treat COVID-19, the company said this morning. This is an actual quote from the company, from a spokesperson for the company. Quote, the individual mutations present in the Omicron variant indicate that there may be reduced neutralization activity of both vaccine-induced and monoclonal antibody-conveyed immunity. But, again, they point out that they're using lab samples and modeling, and we just won't know until, a few million people have been infected with this. We also won't know if it can successfully outcompete Delta, because Delta is not as endemic in South Africa, which is where this Omicron came from. The Delta is not as endemic in South Africa as it is in Europe and North America. So can it compete against Delta? We don't know. It's interesting. So, Republican racism, what are you going to do with a lockdown? A lot to talk about. Lisa in Trevor, Wisconsin. Hey, Lisa, what's on your mind today?
Hi there. Sorry, I'm off speaker.
That's quite all right. Yeah, actually, if I'm on speaker when you first...
Actually, yesterday and as well as today, in talking about the division by the Republicans based on race or many other things, political views, etc. And I think that you may have missed what I believe to be one key factor, and that comes down to insecurity, a person's insecurity. I think that obviously Trump was a person who felt insecure, and we can see that by, his need to try and prove himself better than everybody else, unable to deal with challenges or surround himself by anybody that would challenge his opinions, etc., etc. I think this is a very dangerous thing. We've got people that themselves feel insecure and therefore need to tote around AK-47s. They want to be led by somebody like Trump. And I think that yesterday's conversation about wealth, I think that's a symptom of feeling insecure, that you have this need to have so much wealth that it makes you feel better. Sexual conquests are another thing that, if you're insecure, that you need to have this power in general. So you need to feel that you are superior and that you can control other people. People that are secure don't feel challenged by having other people that have different beliefs, whether it's religion or political or whatever. And so I think this is a very dangerous thing, a very large societal issue. I don't know how we can solve it, but I believe our whole society has really gone down the drain. Our values are so skewed as far as this rampant consumerism, which is just going to destroy this entire globe, basically.
I think it's a brilliant analysis, Lisa. An absolutely brilliant analysis. And the thing that I would add to it is that there are two kinds of insecurity, to use your word. There's, what you could call exogenous insecurity, insecurity caused by circumstances external to you, things you have no control over. And then there's endogenous insecurity, internal insecurity that you are essentially, that you grew up with, probably largely the result of the way that you were parented or the experiences of your childhood. And, so, for example, Trump had that endogenous, that inner insecurity that was the result of having a psychopath as a father and a mother who was completely disinterested in him and literally went years without seeing him. So, he was very wounded by that. He was internally insecure. But the exogenous insecurity, the external insecurity, is the one that we could do something about. You can't do much about internal insecurity, like the way that Trump grew up. Obviously, you try to support families and things like that, but he had more money than God. His father anyway is very, very wealthy, and it didn't help. But the external insecurity is, and there's been just no shortage of studies showing this, that when people are experiencing economic insecurity as a consequence of there being a lack of good paying jobs, as a consequence of an economic depression or an economic recession, they tend to become more conservative, is the word that's usually used in the literature. And what that means is more resistant to change and more wary of people unlike them. and viewing others as threats. They become more reactive. There's more of a fight or flight response. And the way that you solve that is by making sure that everybody has a decent job and they can provide for their families, and kids have an opportunity to go to school, and basically creating a world that works. And I think that this is like the big challenge of our time is creating that social safety net. The huge irony here is that Reaganism, the 40 years of Reaganism, which has taken our middle class from being 65% of us down to around 45% of us now, that Reaganism, that neoliberalism, is creating that insecurity that you're talking about, Lisa, particularly among these white men who are strutting around with prosthetic penises and whatnot, because it has reduced their ability to be the breadwinner. It has reduced their ability to even adequately, by their own standards or by the standards of society, provide for their families. Their home does not look as nice as the homes they see on TV. They can't provide for that. And so what do? They there must be somebody responsible for this. Well, it couldn't be the Republicans or the billionaires. They're on our side, right? It must be those black people or those Muslims or whatever. So. Yep,
absolutely. And I think some of this is intentional by the Republicans, the old divide and conquer strategy, whether it comes down to, economical insecurity, or whether it comes down to not wanting to teach people or have people be able to to think critically, because that challenges them and it makes people question what is being done by leadership, and obviously they don't want that. So thank you very much.
Yeah, spot on. Lisa, thank you very much for the call. John in Austin, Texas. Hey, John, what's up?
Hey, well, I'm responding to your call for what do we think about this new virus and what effect it'll have on various parts of the population. And I'm in the middle of Texas, and I actually live in a small town outside of Austin, which is very, very red. And I don't think it's going to affect the right side of the dial at all. I think, if anything, they'll have another club to hit the left over, hit over the head of the left, as if the left had anything to do with this. But they'll make it look like Biden did it or whatever. And so the ones that I know are extremely stubborn. It's all baked in, as they say, and they're not going to change. And they'll probably just pull a big "I told you so."
Yeah, well, here's the headline, if I can, real quick, John, and then you can react to this. This is the headline on the American Spectator today, one of the big right-wing websites. Dems eagerly await the Omicron variant. They need a pretext to pass the Freedom to Vote Act, complete with nationwide mail-in voting.
There you go. That's exactly what I mean. And this is just, of course, this is such an talk about telegraphing your moves. But anyway, there's nothing to be done about these people. This is what I've learned living in Texas. There's nothing to be done about these people. You can talk till you're blue in the face, and only dire circumstances changes these people. And apparently, this is not dire enough for them. And God help us. Yeah. But I also wanted to inject some positivity here, and that is that most people, the majority of people, Americans, have their chops ready to do this. They know how to deal with this now, and so does the scientific community, and they're not shackled anymore. Right. So they can get on. They can look at this virus, this new variant, and cook up another. They've got a template already, so they can cook up another vaccine, or at least tweak the vaccines that are there now that will include it. And meantime, people know how to behave in a pandemic. They've been doing it for 2 years, and so it shouldn't really. I feel a little bit more positive about it, because people, I don't think, are going to panic about this, provided that the media does not gin up a panic.
Yeah, I'm with you, John, and I don't think the media, frankly, is ginning up a panic. I think they're saying, hey, look, something real is happening here, but so far so good. John, I am not
hear that.
Yeah, I am not panicked either for the same reasons that you said. You said them so well. John, I got to run, but thank you for the call. Thanks for listening to us on Sirius XM.
Sir.
Yep. We'll be right back. It's 45 minutes past the hour here on the Tom Hartman program. Speaking the truth to multinational corporations, we'd really rather you didn't know all about.
You're listening to Tom Hartman. Visit TomHartman.com for audio and video archives.
Back with more of your thoughts on race in politics and Omicron in pandemics right after this. What a better way to bring light and comfort to others this holiday season and all through the year than with Annie's Kit Club's Caring Crochet Kit Club. Every 4 weeks, you'll receive a kit with all the materials to crochet a new project. Annie's is partnered with respected organizations that are making a true difference in the lives of others. Each month's project highlights a specific cause or reputable organization that will pass your handmade gift along to a person in need of warmth and kindness. It's a heartfelt way to put your creativity to good use, making a direct impact on people's lives. Louise and I love the crafts at Annie's Kit Club. Creativity is an important thing. Make the world a little brighter one stitch at a time with Annie's Caring Crochet Kit Club. Subscriptions are month to month. Cancel at any time. As a special offer, get your first kit for 75% off. Go to AnniesKitClubs.com/Tom. It's AnniesKitClubs.com/Tom. THOM. AnniesKitClubs.com/Tom.
This is what progress sounds like.
The House of Representatives passed an Infrastructure Investment and Jobs Act that puts us on a path to win the economic competition of the 21st century that we face with China and other large countries. According to economists, this is going to ease inflationary pressure, not increase it, ease inflationary pressures by lowering costs for working families. It's going to create jobs replacing lead water pipes, so every American, every child can drink clean water, improving their health and putting plumbers and pipe fitters to work. How long have we been talking about that?
Progress.
Invita's Precision Second Opinion is disrupting the world of late-stage cancer in a positive way. Sandy, Archie, and Jan all had something in common. Late-stage colon, prostate, and breast cancers that didn't have targeted treatment options. Invita's Precision technology has given them their lives back. I'm Dr. Dino Prado, and I personally welcome you to utilize our Precision Second Opinion and discover if Invita is right for you. Visit us at invita.com.
Are you one of the millions of homeowners who haven't refinanced yet? If so, I'm here to tell you it's not too late. Hi, I'm Wesley Hogan with Westland Financial. Although the lowest rates may be in our rearview mirror, as the economy recovers from the biggest economic shock of our lifetime, rates still remain near historic lows. In fact, with the dramatic increase in home values, this may be the perfect time to put that new home equity to work. Take advantage of our cash-out refi program and pay off high-rate credit cards, car loans, or other high-interest rate debt. Or finally make those home improvements you put on hold for so long. Best of all, we can do this with no closing costs. That's right, whether it's a conventional, FHA, or VA loan, we'll pay for your title, settlement, lender, and recording fees. So call Westland Financial at 888-615-3669. That's 888-615-3669. It's the biggest no-brainer in the history of mankind. 888-615-3669.
Lennox Financial Mortgage Corp. DBA Westland. NMLS 3304. Not all loans apply. Equal housing lender.
Terms and conditions posted at textplan.us. Texting enrolls for recurring unabated marketing messages. Message and data rates may apply. Replace stop to opt out. Advertisement by the law firm of Barron & Budd, Dallas, Texas. Attention! Anyone who used HIV medications containing TDF such as Truvada or Vareed, you must hear this, as you may be entitled to compensation. Studies have found popular PrEP and HIV medications containing TDF, like Truvada, have been linked to chronic kidney disease or an increase in bone density loss. If you or a loved one took Truvada or another HIV medication containing TDF and were diagnosed with kidney disease or bone density loss, text USE to 323232 right now, as you may be entitled to compensation. Patients who took these popular PrEP and HIV medications can text now to see if they qualify to join others taking legal action against Gilead Sciences, the maker of these antiviral drugs. But hurry, time is limited. If you or a loved one used HIV medications containing TDF, such as Truvada or Vareed, text USE to 323232 right now, as you may be entitled to compensation. Text the word USE to 323232. Text USE to 323232. Do not stop taking any prescribed medication without speaking to your doctor.
330.
Our 1 hour free podcast recaps our show, and it's available wherever fine podcasts are found. And we have the full 3 hour podcast available over at TomHartman.com if you want to really support our program. Hey, winter can put a freeze on your finances with expensive car repairs. You don't want to deal with a broken heater or get stuck somewhere this time of year because your car broke down. That's why I have CarShield, and I'm so glad I have it. Taking care of a covered repair with CarShield's administrators is easy. They handle the paperwork and the expensive payments, so you don't have to. Seriously, CarShield could help save you thousands. You get to choose the mechanic to do the work, and CarShield gets the rest taken care of. Plans through CarShield even provide coast-to-coast roadside assistance, rental coverage, and trip reimbursement, all at no additional charge. Whether your car has 5,000 miles or 150,000 miles, CarShield has monthly coverage options to fit your budget. That's why CarShield is your best defense against costly repairs that could put a deep freeze on your plans and finances. CarShield has helped over 1 million drivers. They can help you too. Visit carshield.com/Tom, T-H-O-M, to save 10%. That's not chicken feed, that's real money. carshield.com/Tom. A deductible may apply. And welcome back. By the way, I opened the show with the Trump death toll. We have passed 800,000 dead in the United States today. As of this moment, it's 801,486 dead Americans. And you can find that continuously updated over at trumpdeathtoll.org. Be sure to go to .org. And it's a website that I put up. It's brought to you by the Hartman Report. And we're pulling the information from, disease.sh. This is the Open Disease Data API. And it's, this is international data. I believe it's provided by the United Nations. But in any case, the death toll in the United States as of today, 801,000. TrumpDeathToll.org is the website. So, picking up your phone calls. Chris in Littleton, Colorado. Hey, Chris, what's up?
Yeah, hi, Tom. In 2 years, the virus vaccines have produced the biggest profits of any medicine in history for Big Pharma. And the virus knows no borders. World leaders have a choice. Suspend patents and allow every country in the world access to vaccines.
Which Biden has called for, by the way.
Or what they're doing now is vaccinating the rich half of the world and not vaccinating the poor half.
Yep.
And that allows millions of people to die, and it'll allow the virus to circulate around the world with more and more variants.
Yep. These are called TRIPS waivers, these intellectual property waivers. This proposal that the United States has endorsed. It took until May for us to get around to it, and certainly the Trump administration didn't want to do this, but we have endorsed this idea that countries like South Africa, Peru, Argentina, there's countries all over the world that are emerging or developing democracies that already have vaccine manufacturing capabilities. They make smallpox vaccines for their local citizens. They make tetanus vaccines. They make measles vaccines. They could be making these COVID vaccines if they were given the formula and given the legal right to do it. But the World Trade Organization and the patent laws around the world prevent this from happening. And these TRIPS waivers would allow these countries to manufacture these vaccines and pay a very small fee to the companies that develop the vaccines. By the way, most of them, Pfizer's the exception, but the other ones were developed with federal money, with government money. The Moderna one was developed with money from the United States government. They would pay a small fee to these companies so they don't lose money on this. They just lose an opportunity to make more money by selling it at a very expensive rate, which they couldn't do anyway because people don't have, people in many of these countries of the world don't have the money to buy them. So yeah, I am totally with you, and I think you nailed it, Chris. Thank you very much for the call. John in Chicago. Hey, John, what's up?
Hi, Tom. How are you doing?
Good.
I'm calling about it. The Republican not going to stop. Every month somebody going to come and say something bad thing.
You're talking about with Republican racism?
Yes. And they're not going to stop. And the second thing, the Biden need a little bit strong because Saudi Arabia and Abu Dhabi trying to hurt the Biden, the gas price. And he need to come out to say, hey, Saudi Arab and Prince and Abu Dhabi and those people trying to hurt my government, That's why they bring in the price up.
But Jared got there first. Jared Kushner went to Saudi Arabia just a few weeks ago to beg for money. And there are some who are speculating that he also went to Saudi Arabia to say, hey, let's keep gas prices high through the next 2 elections.
Yes, but he needs to say in the public, to tell the public, hey, what is going on? Why the price going to go? Because Trump trying to bring me down and Saudi Arabia prince trying to bring me down.
Yeah.
They don't hurt his government.
Yeah, no, I think you're right, John, and the larger issue here, beyond just electoral politics cycle to cycle in the United States, just hurting Joe Biden, is the idea that I think has taken hold in many of these countries that this generation could see the end of democracy. We could make the world safe for kingdoms like Saudi Arabia. We used to talk about making the world safe for democracy, but now you've got countries that are run by autocrats, and there's a whole bunch of them, and they're very engaged in social media, who are pretending to be Americans, or pretending to be Germans, or pretending to be French people, who are trying to make the world safe for autocrats. It's mind-boggling. We'll be back. Republicans have a new idea about how to fix the labor shortage.
You're listening to Tom Hartman.
Life can be full of risks. One thing you shouldn't take a risk with ever is your family's health insurance. If you're self-employed or you now need affordable health insurance, you need to make this free call right now and see how the Health Insurance Helpline can help you get it. We specialize in helping the self-employed and people just like you that need affordable health insurance to get it. We have short and long-term health insurance plans, and some even cover dental, vision, and prescription drugs. Don't take a risk with your family's health insurance. It's not worth it. If you're self-employed or now need affordable health insurance, call right now and learn for free how to get it. Listen, affordable health insurance plans for everyone just like you are a free phone call away. So give us a shout right now.
800-373-8414. 800-373-8414. 800-373-8414.
And paid for by Case Legal Media. Attention parents of premature babies. If your child was born premature and was later diagnosed with necrotizing enterocolitis or NEC, you may be entitled to significant compensation. Several studies have shown a link between cow's milk-based formula and NEC. If your baby was fed a cow's milk-based formula such as Similac, Enfamil, Gerber, or even store-branded cow's milk-based formula and was diagnosed with NEC, don't wait. Call the Victims Justice Group now. Necrotizing enterocolitis is a severe intestinal illness that often requires surgery and can be fatal 50% of the time. NEC can affect any newborn, but babies born prematurely or at low birth weight are more susceptible to NEC. If your child was fed a cow's milk-based formula and was later diagnosed with NEC, you may be entitled to significant compensation. Our attorneys will fight to get you the compensation you deserve, and you pay nothing unless there's a recovery in your favor. Time is limited to file a claim, so call us at 800-276-9365. That's 800-276-9365. Again, 800-276-9365.
From all of us at SiriusXM Progress, we're wishing you a happy Hanukkah.
Stocks are tumbling after the head of the nation's central bank said the Omicron COVID variant could dent economic recovery. Federal Reserve Chairman Jerome Powell told Congress today it brings risks to employment and increased uncertainty for inflation. The Dow Jones Industrial Average has fallen more than 650 points, while the Nasdaq has dropped more than 300 points at times during today's session. The Treasury Secretary is sounding alarms about the U.S. debt limit. During a Senate hearing, Janet Yellen said the U.S. will default on debt obligations if the debt limit is not raised or extended by December 15th. She argued a default could eviscerate the ongoing economic recovery and may push the U.S. into recession.
The majority of Americans would suffer financial pain as critical payments like Social Security checks and military paychecks would not reach their bank accounts.
Yellen warned the fallout would be swift and widespread, while adding America must pay its bills on time and in full. President Biden has signed 4 bills aimed at helping veterans. During a White House signing ceremony, Biden said the U.S. has a truly sacred obligation to its veterans. He noted the bills cleared the House and Senate with bipartisan support. One of the measures deals with racial disparities involving veteran benefits. Another seeks to reduce out-of-pocket education costs for surviving spouses and children of veterans. Despite concerns of a new coronavirus variant, New York City's next mayor is in Africa on a long trip. Scott Pringle reports.
Eric Adams left Monday and will be in Ghana until December 8th as part of a spiritual journey in prayer. Adams says he made a promise to visit Ghana following the 400th anniversary of the birth of slavery in America. Adams takes over as mayor next month. The city's health commissioner, Dr. David Choksi, was asked about Adams' trip in light of the Omicron variant concerns. He says Adams did get his booster shot.
The booster gives you a very important additional layer of protection that's helpful for people who are traveling. We also do recommend testing before and after travel.
I'm Lisa Taylor.
All the viral songs from TikTok For You page.
All on one new SiriusXM channel.
The stories behind the trends, presented by creators like me. Creators like me. Yo, bro, who got you smiling like that? TikTok Radio. Explosion effects.
Listen now on Channel 4 and the SXM app.
Hi, I'm Chase. I'm a service tech for Dish Network, and I was recently voted most reliable on my team. So when I tell you Dish has 99% signal reliability anywhere in the country, including rural America, you can believe it. Dish puts reliability first, so you can watch your teams and your news and your favorite shows without being interrupted, no matter where you live. As the voice of reliability for Dish, I'm spreading the word to our customers in remote areas around America, like Juneau, Alaska, or St. Elmo, Colorado, or even Lucas, Kansas, population 370. It doesn't matter where you live. Dish guarantees 99% signal reliability because we understand that TV is more than just simple entertainment. It's a way of staying connected to the things you care about. So get Dish and get 99% signal reliability. To learn more, call 1-844-CALL-DISH, visit dish.com, or find a local retailer near you. 99% signal reliability based on data from set-top boxes.
What's all the buzz about nasal irrigation and Navage? And should I try it? Here's the science. Airborne germs invade through your nose. It's the body's air filter for trapping allergens and viruses. When your nose gets clogged, it's less effective and germs multiply. Eventually, your immune system can get overwhelmed and you get sick. Nasal irrigation is an effective, all-natural way to clean your nose. It's not a drug, it's more like plumbing. Saline goes in one nostril, around the back of the nose and out the other nostril, flushing out mucus and germs. I'm Martin Hoke, and I invented Navage to make cleaning your nose easy. It's the world's only nose cleaner with powered suction. Navage pulls out the bad stuff so you can breathe better, sleep deeper, snore less, and feel healthier. At Walgreens, CVS, Rite Aid, Target, Bed Bath, and Walmart. Or go to Navage.com for a free gift with purchase. Over 2 million sold. Navage, N-A-V-A-G-E. Clean nose, healthy life.
Attention Americans 65 and older. The Medicare annual enrollment period ends December 7th. Now is the time to select your Medicare Advantage plan for 2022. Get ready for an important toll-free hotline where you can get your free Medicare benefits review. Do you currently have a copay? A high deductible? Do you pay extra for dental and vision? Are your out-of-pocket costs just too high? If you answered yes to any of these, then call 800-766-9127. A Senior Market Quotes licensed insurance agent will help you compare plans, which can include $0 copays, $0 deductibles, even $0 premiums, plus dental and vision coverage for no additional cost. You may also qualify for up to $144 a month. That's $1,700 a year from the Social Security Give Back Program. Medicare annual enrollment ends December 7th, so call now. The service is free, with no obligation. Call 800-766-9127. That's 800-766-9127. 800-766-9127.
Signal Boost with Zerlina Maxwell and Jess McIntosh.
America's history is so rich. We started with like the worst of white supremacy, with the worst of Calvinism, with the worst of the prosperity gospel. It was not a good look. And all we have done since is crawl a little bit closer to equity. And that's beautiful.
Signal Boost, weekdays, 7 a.m. East, 4 West. On Sirius XM Progress 127. On demand and on the SXM app.
Tom Hartman program.
Welcome back to the second hour of our program. The Chiron on CNN right now. World facing uncertainty as scientists study Omicron variant. So we'll see where this goes. I am, like I said, I'm not freaked out, but, we are a wealthy nation. We have access to more vaccines than we can use. We have shipped more vaccines to other countries in the world, poor countries in the world, than any other country. We are, I think, leading the world in this regard. And President Biden has called for the World Trade Organization to suspend the patent protections for these vaccines so that they can be manufactured in poor countries around the world, which will ease up the cost and difficulty and logistical challenges of shipping them out of the United States. So all these good things. Meanwhile, there's a labor shortage, if you haven't noticed. Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, I think, correctly says we don't actually have a labor shortage. We have, in her words, a shortage of dignified jobs. She says we have a dignified job shortage. But Republicans think that they've got a solution to the problem. There are, employers looking for employees, and they don't want to pay more money. So what do? Well, hey, let's have 14-year-olds go to work. Yeah, we did that once before in America. This was the the Supreme Court back in the day. So one of the first things that they did, striking. I believe this was right after Franklin Roosevelt became president, was striking down child labor laws. But the story is in the Labor Tribune, labortribune.com. Republican-controlled legislatures in several states have come up with a novel way to stem the effects of an ongoing labor shortage. Loosen child labor laws governing the number of hours or the times the teenagers are allowed to work. And this is 14 and 15-year-olds. Hey, let's just let them go to work. Right? Makes perfect sense, huh? And the Wisconsin Restaurant Association is like, hey, yeah, this is a great idea. Bring in the 14-year-olds. They can serve tables. On the other hand, the AFL-CIO is like, what? And Senator Chris Larson, the Democrat from Milwaukee in Wisconsin, he says, I think if those employers are looking for workers, what frankly the market should dictate is that they should be raising wages and offering additional benefits. Which actually works. People will work for you if you provide them with a decent working environment and reasonable pay and benefits. Sylvia Allegretto, who is a labor economist and the co-chair of the Center on Wage and Employment Dynamics, told an interviewer at Salon, quote, and by the way, I think this really gets to the nub of this issue right now. She said, a lot of families are in such dire economic conditions that they might agree to send their kids to work because of necessity. But that's the problem, she says. If you get up and go to work every day, you shouldn't be living in poverty. You should not be living in such dire situations. Families should not need their children to work 30, 35 hours a week, which is what they're proposing in some of these states, in order to keep the family's head above water. Children, 14-year-olds should be studying for school. They shouldn't be flipping burgers. Unless it is, as I pointed out, when I was 14 or 15, I was flipping burgers. But it was on, I was limited to, as I recall, it was on Saturdays. I had my Saturdays. But she goes on to note, the increased reliance on American teenagers to work more hours is also leading to a number of negative outcomes for children who are forced into the labor market at younger ages, including higher rates of substance abuse and high school dropouts, research shows. And this is where we have to make a fundamental decision as a nation. Do we want to basically accommodate employers' desire to have low wages and no benefits by telling poor families, yeah, you can send your kids to work 30, 35 hours a week, no problem. Forget about those kids ever growing up to be really successful because typically that these days requires at least a college education or, you know, some sort of trade training so that you can get a good union job. Forget about that. Consign your children to a lifetime of poverty, but hey, the employers don't have to pay as much. Do we do that? Do we go the Republican route? Or do we do what the Democrats are saying and structure our country and our economy in such a way that diminishes poverty? I mean, it's crazy that the number of medical bankruptcies in the United States is probably going to be around 1 million this year. And it was probably around 1 million last year. We're not, you know, it takes a couple of years for the numbers to get sorted out and everything, but, you know, it was 640,000 the year before the pandemic. And you got a lot of people who got sick with COVID, ended up in the ICU, have $1 million hospital bill now, and no way to pay it. And yet the number of medical bankruptcies right across the border in Canada, a country that shares a common language with us by and large, culturally is very similar, demographically is similar to us. The number of medical bankruptcies in Canada is 0. The number of medical bankruptcies in Europe, 0. Taiwan, 0. South Korea, 0. Japan, 0. Here in the United States, 1 million. And that's just like one symptom. That's just one little indicator of how screwed up our system is. That if somebody in your family goes broke, gets sick, the entire family can go broke. The other thing that we have is almost $2 trillion worth of student loan debt. Again, you don't find this in other countries. Sure, if you want to go to Harvard or Princeton, maybe you can take on a student loan in these other countries. But, you know, in Germany, all the state universities and colleges are absolutely free. There's over 300,000 foreign students in Germany going to college right now for free. And if you're a German citizen, not only do you get free tuition, but in some cases they will subsidize your books and your rent. Which, by the way, is not unique to Germany. This is common among Western European countries. We're the only country in the world that has saddled an entire generation with student debt. And by the way, prior to the Reagan administration, there was no student debt problem in America. In fact, prior to Reagan becoming governor of California, the entire University of California college system, one of the best in the world, was entirely free, or damn close to it. Abraham Lincoln, as President of the United States, took federal lands all across the United States and created 56 large tracts of land that could be used, that could be worked for money. They could be logged, or they could be farmed, you know, turned into agricultural land or whatever, and that agricultural land could produce revenue, and called these land grant colleges. They were 56 colleges that Lincoln put into place. Michigan State University was one of them, where the college had the ability to make enough money that they could provide free education or very, very cheap education to their students. My mother went to Michigan State University and graduated back in the 1940s, magna cum laude in English, which is why I'm pretty good at English. And she put herself through MSU with a summer job up in Charlevoix, Michigan, where she grew up, as a lifeguard. And on weekends, you know, through the rest of the year, propping and washing airplanes at the Lansing Airport. She did that mostly, though, in exchange for flying lessons. But, I mean, you know, it was like, college was not an issue. We're the only country with this. And so we're looking at this, like, this is impoverishing families. It's creating a terrible challenge just for daily life. And the solution that the Republicans have is, let's let 14-year-olds work, you know, 30 hours a week, instead of letting the market work and essentially having the marketplace force employers to raise wages and benefits. When are these Republicans going to wake up? I mean, nobody is saying, oh yeah, kids shouldn't have the experience of being in the workplace. You know, I did as a kid, it was a good thing. But it wasn't for subsistence. I wasn't trying to survive. I wasn't trying to support my family. It was a little extra money so I could buy a used car, which I did. For $35, I bought a used car. Believe that.
This is the Tom Hartman Program.
So what do we do with this? How do we build an America that works when we're facing this kind of obstruction? If you're looking for a unique and meaningful holiday gift that will inspire family and friends all year long, look no farther than Annie's Kit Clubs. Annie's craft kit subscriptions are great for beginners, seasoned crafters, young adults, and kids. Kits arrive monthly with all the high-quality materials and directions needed to get crafting immediately. Annie's offers endless crafting possibilities. There are various knitting, crocheting, sewing, and fabric clubs, jewelry making, card making, amazing clubs for younger kids that will teach them valuable skills. There are even clubs to outfit your home, like Annie's Christmas Ornament Kit Club, the Holiday Quilters Club, and the Farmhouse Style Kit Club. I've worked with my grandkids on Annie's Kit Club crafts. What a blessing to spend time together being creative and learning. Find the perfect kit today. Subscriptions are month to month. You can cancel at any time. And as a special offer, get your first kit for 75% off. Go to annieskitclubs.com/Tom. That's THOM. annieskitclubs.com/Tom.
Bringing the warmth and wonder of the season with timeless Christmas music and carols.
Hallmark Channel Radio returns to Sirius XM.
It's beginning to look a lot like Christmas.
Beloved Hallmark Channel stars like me, Candace Cameron Bure, will share their favorite holiday songs and behind-the-scenes stories of their all-new original holiday movie premieres. On now.
Through Christmas Day, Channel 104, and on the SXM app.
Terms and conditions posted at textplan.us. Texting enrolls for recurring automated marketing messages. Message and data rates may apply. Replace stop to opt out. Advertisement by the law firm of Barron & Budd, Dallas, Texas.
Attention! Anyone who used HIV medications containing TDF such as Truvada or Beread, you must hear this, as you may be entitled to compensation. Studies have found popular PrEP and HIV medications containing TDF, like Truvada, have been linked to chronic kidney disease or an increase in bone density loss. If you or a loved one took Truvada or another HIV medication containing TDF and were diagnosed with kidney disease or bone density loss, text USE to 323232 right now, as you may be entitled to compensation. Patients who took these popular PrEP and HIV medications can text now to see if they qualify to join others taking legal action against Gilead Sciences, the maker of these antiviral drugs. But hurry, time is limited. If you or a loved one used HIV medications containing TDF, such as Truvada or Beread, text USE to 323232 right now, as you may be entitled to compensation. Text the word USE to 323232. Text USE to 323232.
Do not stop taking any prescribed medication without speaking to your doctor.
The season of giving is finally here, and so is the holiday rush. If you're selling anything online, you don't have to face the holiday hustle alone. Stamps.com takes all the guesswork out of holiday shipping and saves you money. Easily compare prices and delivery dates across major carriers and get huge discounts, up to 40% off USPS and 76% off UPS rates. Keep your customers in the know with Stamps.com's built-in tracking tools and delivery notifications, and easily integrate shipping with all major sales channels. So whether your sales come from Amazon, Etsy, Shopify, or eBay, Stamps.com streamlines your shipping and keeps you on your customers' nice list. Deliver more smiles this holiday and start shipping and saving with Stamps.com today. There's no risk. And with promo code XM, you get a special offer that includes a 4-week trial, plus free shipping credits and a digital shipping scale. No long-term commitments or contracts. You'll be up and running in minutes. Stamps.com. Easy e-commerce shipping for less. A lot less.
This is what progress sounds like. Yes, infrastructure is roads and bridges and transportation and rails. But infrastructure is also broadband or high-speed internet. Infrastructure is also child care. And this piece of the Build Back Better agenda is something that cuts across party lines, that doesn't just benefit Democrats or Republicans. It benefits people, working families across this country, middle-class families. Progress.
.com.
Change starts with you. You can be calling your Democratic or Republican representatives to let them know what you think by calling 202-224-3121. It's the Capitol switchboard. It'll get you right through to them. You probably have some great photos on your phone, pictures of fun moments with your kids, adorable pets, important milestones, but what are you actually doing with all those wonderful shots? Don't let them just sit on your phone. Our partner Free Prints is a real treasure for me. I recently printed several pictures in the past I wanted to frame as they were milestones in my life. I smile now when I see them. Free Prints is the free app for iPhone and Android that lets you print all those photos for free. You get 1,000 free 4x6 photo prints every year. All you pay is a small shipping charge. Using the Free Prints app is easy. You just select the photos you want to print, choose the sizes, and you're done. Your premium quality Free Prints will arrive on your doorstep in just days. With more than 1 million 5-star reviews, Free Prints is one of the world's favorite apps. You can download it now at freeprints.com. The app is free and so are the prints. No subscriptions, no commitments, just free prints. Seriously. Go to freeprints.com to get the app and your 1,000 free prints. That's freeprints.com. And welcome back. By the way, there's this mythology around the minimum wage. Who are these kids who are going to work? People think that most minimum wage workers, for example, are teenagers. The reality is the average minimum wage worker in the United States is 35 years old. Of course, Republicans want 14-year-olds to compete with 35-year-olds. The 90% of minimum wage workers in the United States are over 20 years old. 59% are women. 28% are parents. They have children. 54% of minimum wage workers in the United States work full-time. But hey, let's have 14-year-olds compete with them to keep those wages low. Okay, that's number one. Number two, I wanted to share with you this just surprising geeky science. I think it's absolutely fascinating. There is a new book out about sleep. It's called Why We Sleep by Matthew Walker, Dr. Matthew Walker, PhD, Unlocking the Power of Sleep and Dreams. And he points out in his book, and in his TED Talk, his little 2-minute TED Talk, that when you fall asleep and start dreaming, you're actually doing really important work. He says dreams act as a form of overnight therapy. In fact, your dreams may even boost your ability to solve problems and process tough emotions that affect your waking life. And I think this is absolutely fascinating. One of the things that I learned when I studied neurolinguistic programming is that the way that we store memories is essentially as if the mind was a giant hologram that kind of surrounds us. And we put things in physical places. Like if you ask somebody, what color is the kitchen floor in your house? Their eyes will move. They will not look you in the eye as they answer. Immediately before they answer, they will look up to the right or look up to the left or look down. Or somewhere they will find a memory of the color of their kitchen floor. Similarly, if you ask somebody, remember the last time that somebody insulted you, they will look someplace else. The kitchen floor may be over here and the insult may be over here. And it might be 10 feet away or it might be 6 inches away. It might be in bright, vivid color or it might be in black and white. And this understanding that we store memory actually in physical places, I mean, they're not literally physical, they're kind of meta-physical places, but that we store memory in these places, has informed a whole science of therapy for trauma called EMDR. Emotional, I'm blanking on what the EMDR stands for, but basically what you do with EMDR is while a person is reliving a terrible experience, you have them move their eyes from side to side, following somebody's finger or following a light or whatever it may be. And what this does is it allows the mind to say, okay, here's a memory that I don't like, and it's stored in the place of ouch, 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 and I'm going to move it over here to the place of, okay, that happened to me a long time ago and I'm over it. Because we actually have those kinds of places, and EMDR allows that to happen. Well, apparently so does REM sleep, and that's the point of this guy in his book, Why We Sleep, and our geeky science for the day, that REM sleep, if you watch somebody's eyes when they're sleeping, when they're in REM sleep, rapid eye motion sleep, their eyes are moving all over the place. And the theory, or one of the theories now, is that what's happening is the brain is taking the day's experience and sorting it and figuring out what to keep and what not to keep, and the stuff that gets kept, where to put it. That's number one. The other thing about sleep is that he in his some studies, he found that when people think about problems before they fall asleep, they very often wake up with a solution. Thomas Edison was famous for this. I've done this my whole entire life. Before I'll go to sleep, I'll present a question to myself. I need to know what the focus of tomorrow, that chapter that I'm going to work on in that book tomorrow will be. Or I need to figure out a way to do something, whatever it may be. And I'll just ask myself that before I go to sleep and say, would you please let me know when I wake up, what the answer. And literally when I wake up, probably 5 times out of 7 or 8, the answer is right there as I wake up. Powerful stuff. Anyhow, the book is Why We Sleep, Unlocking the Power of Sleep and Dreams by Matthew Walker. And my book on the whole Emdr thing is called Walking Your Blues Away. I wrote a whole book about this, that if you're fascinated by that idea of, memories being in places and you can change the place and change the meaning of the memory, check out Walking Your Dreams, or Walking Your Blues Away.
You're listening to the Thom Hartmann program. Call 202-808-9925.
It really is fascinating. We'll be right back with your calls. Stick around. Did you know the average price of a hearing aid in America is over $2,400 a pair? That's why there's MD Hearing Aid. MD Hearing Aid is an FDA-registered digital hearing aid that costs a fraction of what typical hearing aids cost. Their Volt Plus model is just $299.99 each when you buy a pair. That's nearly 90% less. MD Hearing Aid was founded by an ENT surgeon who made it his mission to develop a high-quality hearing aid that anyone could afford. MD Hearing Aid's Volt Plus model is rechargeable and waterproof in up to 3 feet of water. Louise loves her MD Hearing Aids. They're the best ones she's ever used. Better than the more expensive ones she's had. They last from early in the morning until she goes to bed. And that's a wow for us. Head to mdhearingaid.com and use the promo code TOM, T-H-O-M, to get their buy one, get one for $299.99 each offer. Plus, they're adding a free extra charging case, a $100 value, just for listeners of the Thom Hartmann radio program. So head to mdhearingaid.com and use our promo code TOM, or you can even call them at 1-833-419-1630.
An adult elephant can weigh up to 6 tons. The average person, 150 pounds. Ever heard of carfentanil? It's a large wild animal tranquilizer. Illegal drug dealers lace heroin with it. It can kill the average human. If you or a loved one is addicted to opiates, even pain pills, don't wait until it's too late. Call the Detox and Treatment Helpline now. We care. Many of us have been where you are. We'll take you or a loved one away from the drug environment to a place you can clean out safely. Plus, we'll work with your insurance company to make sure you get the treatment you need. And with a Family Medical Leave Act, you're allowed by law to get away for help without telling your employer why. Call now to save a life. 800-208-5187. 800-208-5187. That's 800-208-5187.
Comedy Gold Mines, a Kevin Hart podcast.
We get inside the minds of brilliant comedians, and oh my God, what amazing minds they are. Tiffany had us on the show today. I love you, Kevin. Who does Jerry Seinfeld love when it comes to comedy?
Bernie Mac,
Eddie Murphy, and Arsenio Hall.
Thanks for having us, bro.
Ladies and gentlemen, David Letterman.
You're really good at this.
Get ready to get real, people.
Comedy Gold Mines, Kevin Hart's Laugh Out Loud Radio, Channel 96, and the SXM app. SiriusXM radios are on free now through December 6th. Visit SiriusXM.com/listen free to learn more.
The holidays are the most wonderful time of the year. But if you're running an online store, you know they can also be the craziest time of the year. You've got inventory to manage, orders to fill, and a growing list of anxious customers wondering if those last-minute gifts will arrive in time. With ShipStation, the hassle of shipping holiday orders melts away, leaving you with happier customers and more freedom to run your business. ShipStation works with all major carriers, including FedEx, USPS, and UPS. You even get access to discounted rates usually reserved for Fortune 500 companies. No wonder 98% of companies that use ShipStation for a year keep using it for as long as they're in business. It's
that good. Make this holiday season a little brighter with ShipStation. Use code XM to get a 60-day free trial. Just go to ShipStation.com, click on the microphone at the top, and enter code XM. ShipStation. Make ship happen.
Attention Americans age 65 and older. The Medicare annual enrollment period ends December 7th. Now is the time to select your Medicare Advantage plan for 2022. Get ready for an important toll-free hotline where you can get your free 2022 Medicare benefits review. Do you currently have a copay, a high deductible? Do you pay extra for dental and vision? Are your out-of-pocket expenses just too high? If you answered yes to any of these, then call 800-987-3107. A SmartMatch licensed insurance agent can help you compare plans, which can include $0 copays, $0 deductibles, even $0 premiums, plus dental and vision coverage for no additional cost. Having the wrong Medicare plan can cost you thousands. So call today before annual enrollment ends on December 7th. The service is free, with no obligation. So call today. Call 800-987-3107. That's 800-987-3107. 800-987-3107.
And paid for by Case Legal Media. Attention parents of premature babies. If your child was born premature and was later diagnosed with necrotizing enterocolitis or NEC, you may be entitled to significant compensation. Several studies have shown a link between cow's milk-based formula and NEC. If your baby was fed a cow's milk-based formula such as Similac, Enfamil, Gerber, or even store-branded cow's milk-based formula and was diagnosed with NEC, don't wait. Call the Victims Justice Group now. Necrotizing enterocolitis is a severe intestinal illness that often requires surgery and can be fatal 50% of the time. NEC can affect any newborn, but babies born prematurely or at low birth weight are more susceptible to NEC. If your child was fed a cow's milk-based formula and was later diagnosed with NEC, you may be entitled to significant compensation. Our attorneys will fight to get you the compensation you deserve, and you pay nothing unless there's a recovery in your favor. Time is limited to file a claim, so call us at 800-276-9365. That's 800-276-9365. Again, 800-276-9365.
This is what progress sounds like.
We talk a lot about checks and pockets, but almost even more important is shots in arms, the vaccination program, because that enables people to safely engage in in-person services. And now kids, by the way, about 1 million kids vaccinated the past week, 5 to 11-year-olds. It's those kinds of health advances that are going to get the economy back to where we want it to be. The president's fingerprints are all over these results.
This is progress.
Hey, thanks so much for sharing our program and for reaching out to our stations and sponsors and letting them know that you're listening. It really means a lot to us. The change in seasons can affect your pet just like it can affect you. If you notice the air getting drier, getting itchier, your pet may be too. You may be noticing increased shedding, licking, itching, which may or may not be related to allergies. It's probably just the change in weather. Excuse me. Try Dynavite, a whole food supplement which can help support digestion, a healthy skin and coat, and boost your pet's immune system. Dynavite has made a huge difference for our dogs Blue and Chewy. They itch less and their skin and coats are much healthier. Hey, if dogs are happy, if our dogs are happy, we're happy because we love our dogs. Dynavite also carries treats, shampoos, meal boosters, and more designed to help soothe skin irritation. There is something for all dogs. Dynavite is so confident that your pet will benefit from their products, they offer a 90-day risk-free trial on your first purchase. So you have nothing to lose. Go to Dynavite.com today. That's Dinovite.com. Dinovite.com. That's it just really works well. Terms apply. See the site for details. Dynavite.com. Perk. And welcome back. As he struggles with the wires, picking up your phone calls. John in Niles, Michigan. Hey, John, thanks for listening to WCPT. What's up?
Yeah, Tom, did you happen to see the Ohio State-Michigan game?
I did not.
You know, I'm sure that you saw pictures after the game where 100,000+ fans were on the field, probably within a foot of each other. That had to be one of the biggest super spreader events in world history. Wow.
Yeah, I didn't see it, but I think aren't most of these teams now? I mean, this was an NFL game, right?
No, University of Michigan and
so this is college football. So they, the NFL is requiring vaccine to get into most stadiums, aren't they? Are the college groups doing this?
Yeah. Aaron Rodgers missed the game against.
He lied. But I mean, for fans, don't you have to show vaccine status to get into the stadium in the first place?
I'm not really sure. I'm not sure.
Yeah, because I know that they're doing that with some stadiums and some they're not, and I just didn't know it.
Yeah, and the other thing I want to talk about is the anti-science, anti-medicine mood. I think all of that, the advent of Fox News, which was created by Richard Nixon and Roger Ailes some 35, 40 years ago. That has created such a negative impact on the country to the point where we're almost headed for a civil war. And I'm very concerned that if Trump is allowed to run again, even if he doesn't win with all these new state election laws, that they will overturn the election, and Trump will be allowed to win. But if he does win, I think it's going to be something similar to Hitler, where the Reichstag fire, he'll declare martial law and shut down the media and God knows what.
Yeah, I share your concern, John. I absolutely do. I think probably Viktor Orban in Hungary is a closer analogy, but Hitler based the basis of Hitler's popularity was his trashing. Mostly Jews, but also communists and socialists, and just basically scapegoating people, and that's what Donald Trump has done his whole entire life. So the analogy.
He's an extreme narcissist and an authoritarian, as you've mentioned. Very much. He's not anti-Semitic. He's kind of more like Mussolini. Yeah. But I'm very concerned about. I've even thought about going to Canada, because I'm very concerned that it wasn't so much Hitler, but Hitler's henchmen that did all the dirty work.
And the brown shirts and whatnot. The problem with Canada, John, is that Canada doesn't want us. It's getting harder and harder to get there. But, John, thank you for the call. And good to hear from you. Anthony in New York City. Hey, Anthony, what's on your mind today?
Hey, good afternoon. How you doing? I'm glad. I'm going to piggyback off what the gentleman before me just said. I'm trying to find out what is taking so long with the Southern District and his taxes. Now, if they find some shenanigans with his taxes, he will not be able to run again?
No, there's no law that requires candidates for president to disclose their taxes. It's been a tradition going back to the days of, I think, Richard Nixon, but to the best of my knowledge, there's no law about it.
But anything this guy's doing is corrupt. I mean, they can't find anything to stop him? The thing
that I think would easily stop Donald Trump is the 14th Amendment, but Congress has to act, or some court has to act, one or the other. I mean, we've never used it before, but Article 3, as I recall, of the 14th Amendment says that no person who has engaged in an insurrection against the United States, I'm paraphrasing here, may hold public office. And if we can demonstrate, and this is what the January 6th committee is trying to do, but I think the evidence is already just laying on the ground. But if we can demonstrate that Donald Trump played an active role in trying to overthrow the government of the United States, to subvert the democratic process under the 14th Amendment, he's no longer eligible to run for office. Now, this was written into the 14th Amendment to apply to people who had been part of the last insurrection, what we called the Civil War. But this is the new insurrection, and it's just as real, and frankly, in my opinion, just as problematic. Thanks a lot for the call, Anthony. Brandon in Media, Pennsylvania. Hey, Brandon, you wanted to talk about our geeky science, dreaming?
Yes, actually, you were talking before about the idea of dreams and how they affect everyday life. For me, who wanted to talk about how it's control of what's going on with the pandemic and how the dreamlike state when we sleep can conform to tries to figure out how you will be going on through life while you're awake.
Right.
I find it interesting. I call them deconstructive dreams, simply because of the fact that, well, Tom, I'd like you to walk along with me here. Have you had dreams where you're in a situation, and dreams tend to replicate real life? They're in places that you know, but they're a little bit different. But then all of a sudden, things come apart.
Brendan, what's your point?
What's my point? Well, it was going towards, and I'm sorry that there's only time. So, I guess my point is, when we have dreams, we are trying to formulate how to work through what goes on in our awakened life to the next day.
Sure. I think the most commonly accepted theory, I could be wrong on this, I'm not a dream expert or sleep expert, but I think that the most commonly accepted theory is that the hippocampus is basically a one-day scratch pad. It sort of records everything that happens throughout the day, and then at night it's got to dump that data into the brain, and that dump and sort process is what we call dreaming. Making sense out of things and whatnot. And occasionally something happens during the day that is so big, so red hot, so explosive in your face, so terrible that when the hippocampus tries to dump it into the rest of the brain after you fall asleep, the rest of the brain goes, whoa, I don't want that right now. And so the hippocampus hangs on to it. So the next day when you wake up, whatever that terrible thing that happened the day before, it still feels like it happened today. And that's literally the definition of post-traumatic stress disorder, is that people are carrying trauma that every single day feels like it happened today. And what EMDR and eye motion desensitization and reintegration, and thank you, Sean, for checking that out, what EMDR and some of these other therapies do is try to help the hippocampus during the waking time to reduce the charge associated with that memory that the hippocampus can't let go of, or some part of the brain, and then let it be discharged into the rest of the brain, sorted and made sense of during sleep.
Yes, and so once that happens while you're asleep, and then you wake up the next morning,
right,
you can seem to be disassociated because you're still unsure of what happened the day before.
Okay.
I'm sorry, Tom.
Yeah,
I'm trying to. This is something maybe that I have personally been going through, and
right.
I don't think I'm alone, because with the pandemic,
I'm sorry. Finish your thought.
Well, as the pandemic has gone through, there are many people that are going through these things where we're trying to figure out from day to day. We get our rest, or so-called rest, we sleep, and we have these dreams. Is that hippocampus, is that idea of the brain working through those things, how does that change how we feel? Not only feel.
Yeah, the place where you keep things. When you ask if you ask somebody to remember, if I were to ask you, Brendan, to remember a time when you were upset in traffic, somebody cut you off in traffic or whatever, can you remember a time like that?
Absolutely.
Okay, so where is that memory? Look at it right now. Where is it?
It seems to be front of brain.
Is it outside your head? I'm guessing it is. Is it in front of your face? Is it above your forehead? Is it below? Is it 2 feet away? Is it 10 feet away?
It would be in front of me, because it would be happening not within me.
Right. How far away from you is it?
If it's happening in traffic, it would be 6 feet away.
No, I'm talking about a memory.
Okay. So a memory, well, obviously it would be inside my head.
Yeah. Okay. I'm not apparently doing this very well. Brendan, thanks a lot for the call. I'm sorry, we can't. I just can't do this on the air right now. I was going to try and walk you through the process of discovering where you locate your memories, so that, and then I was going to have Brendan move it to a different place, which would change its meaning. And it's when you actually walk somebody through this process in real time, it can be really surprising. We'll be right back.
You're listening to Thom Hartmann. Visit ThomHartmann.com for audio and video archives.
I used to teach this stuff at conventions of psychologists and psychotherapists, and it's fascinating stuff. Like I said, I wrote a book about it. It's called Walking Your Days Away. Using the internet without ExpressVPN is like leaving your keys in your car while you run into the gas station for a snack. Most of the time, you're probably fine, but what if you come back to see someone driving off with your car? You've got to protect your valuables, and your online data is valuable. Hackers can make up to $1,000 per person selling personal information on the dark web. And every time you connect to an unencrypted network at a cafe, hotel, or airport, any hacker on the same network can gain access to your personal data, unless you use ExpressVPN. ExpressVPN creates a secure encrypted tunnel between your device and the internet. Just fire up the app and click one button to get protected. ExpressVPN works on all devices, phones, laptops, tablets, and more, so you can stay secure on the go. I've used ExpressVPN for years. It's the only VPN I trust to keep my data safe. You can too. Go to expressvpn.com/Tom to get an extra 3 months of ExpressVPN free with a 1-year package. That's expressvpn.com/Tom, THOM, expressvpn.com/Tom.
The Dean Obeidallah Show.
The GOP is a white nationalist fascist hate movement, and they want to impose their beliefs on all of us. And Bobart is not an outlier. All I need to know about the GOP is the silence in the face of bigotry and the embrace of political violence. That's who they are.
The Dean Obeidallah Show. Weekdays, 6 p.m. East, 3 West.
On Sirius XM Progress 127. On demand and on the SXM app.
Hey, are you tired of missing sales? Look, if you have a business that sells anything, listen to this. My name's Grant Cardone, and that's right, I'm the tired of missing sales guy. Look, if you're tired of missing sales, understand if nobody knows you, they can never do business with you. I've grown my business from $3 million a year to $150 million every year in just 7 years. Want to know my secret? The internet and social media. And I'll show you how to master both for free. I'll show you the 3 top ways to get customers online no matter what type of business you have, and I'll do it for free right now at tiredofmissingsales.com. That's tiredofmissingsales.com. You don't have to be an online business, by the way, to make the internet work for you. You could be a lawyer, a baker, a bricklayer. Literally, you could be anything and still get customers online. See for yourself, absolutely free. Go to tiredofmissingsales.com. That's tiredofmissingsales.com. You know what it is, tiredofmissingsales.com. That's tiredofmissingsales.com. Go to tiredofmissingsales.com to get immediate access today.
Need help with your holiday shopping list this year? SiriusXM can save you money and time while helping you find the perfect gifts. Visit SiriusXM.com/gift ideas and check out the holiday gift guide. It's filled with gift ideas perfect for anyone on your list and special offers too. The holiday gift guide is brought to you in part by Boll & Branch. Pure organic cotton sheets from Boll & Branch. The new standard in bedding. Check out SiriusXM.com/gift ideas to learn more.
And paid for by OpenJar Concepts. Attention, this is an important notice for anyone who has used a Philips CPAP machine or ventilator. In June 2021, the FDA announced that Philips issued a recall affecting nearly 4 million CPAP, BiPAP, and ventilator units. The recall was issued due to health risks associated with the foam utilized for sound reduction, which may degrade over time into harmful chemicals. The Philips CPAP recalled devices can potentially result in injuries including kidney, liver, or heart damage, cancer, or severe skin, ear, nose, or throat inflammation. If you or a loved one used a Philips CPAP, BiPAP, or ventilator and later suffered an injury, you may be entitled to significant compensation. Call us now at 800-817-7051. Our experienced attorneys will fight to get you the compensation you deserve, and you pay nothing unless there's a recovery in your favor. Time is limited to file a claim, so call us at 800-817-7051. That's 800-817-7051. Again, 800-817-7051.
Threshold. Missed my opening rant today? It's usually published over at HartmanReport.com, where you can read it and share it with your friends for free. Check it out, HartmanReport.com. Home chefs know that the only thing you need for flavorful meals are a few high-quality ingredients, and that's why home chefs are turning to wild-caught seafood. Enter the Wild Alaskan Company. The founder comes from a long line of Alaskan commercial fishermen. They are experts in getting the highest quality, sustainably sourced seafood right to your plate. With the Wild Alaskan Company, you know exactly what you're getting every single time. Wild-caught seafood that is frozen at the peak of freshness, locking in delicious flavor and texture that you can then enjoy at home. The Wild Alaskan Company has the best wild-caught salmon ever. Louise and I have been doing a lot of in-depth cooking during the pandemic and making curry salmon and fried salmon and salmon over salads and all kinds of wonderful stuff. As a member of the Wild Alaskan Company, you'll receive a variety of perfectly portioned wild-caught seafood, such as salmon, halibut, cod, and more, delivered right to your door. They're so confident in their product, they offer a 100% money-back guarantee. You can change or pause your delivery date anytime. Right now, get $15 off your first box of wild-caught seafood when you visit wildalaskancompany.com/Tom. That's T-H-O-M. wildalaskancompany.com/Tom for $15 off your first box. And welcome back at 2 minutes before the hour. And Luigi in Pensacola, Florida. Hey, Luigi, what's up?
Hey, Tom. This might be a trivial thing, but I was trying to catch up with some reading on your daily rants, because I've been away for a while, and we were talking about dreams and what happens with them. This is crazy. It had bang, because I found myself doing things like I get so upset about reading about the right wing and all this other stuff, and sometimes I don't have to do that during the day, but I plot. When I go to sleep, while I'm getting into sleep, I would plot revenge on these people, and some of it would be violence, and I would have the most violent, extreme dreams that you could possibly think. And after about 2 or 3 of these things, because I'm not that type of person, and I stopped doing that before I went to sleep and thinking positive stuff, the violent dreams actually honestly disappeared.
Right.
And it's like, so what you said today really struck home, and I want to thank you once again, Professor, as usual.
You know, when I said that I solve problems by dreaming, I learned this when I was a teenager, or maybe even before that. I was reading a biography of Thomas Edison, and he used to take cat naps throughout the day, and he would lay on he had a little bed in his factory or in his laboratory in Edison, New Jersey. No, it wasn't Edison, New Jersey. That came later. But anyhow, he was in New Jersey. And he would put a pie pan on the floor next to the bed, and he would put a handful of marbles in his right hand, and he would lay on the bed with his right hand off the edge of the bed, holding the marbles, and would fall asleep. And when he really was asleep, the marbles would fall out of his hand into the pie pan and wake him up. But just before he fell asleep, he would ask himself, okay, how do I make this filament in this light bulb I want to create? How do I make it work better? And he told the story about one time when the marbles hit the pan. As he woke up, he realized, I need to get all the air out of the bulb, create a vacuum. So then, this is his problem-solving technique. So I couldn't fall asleep as easily as he could, and I couldn't wake myself up as easily as he could. But what I did start doing as a kid was asking myself, presenting a situation to myself before I fall asleep, and like I said, probably 5 times out of 8, if I put serious effort into it, and this requires effort, so I don't do it frequently, but you put serious effort into it, when you wake up, there's the solution. It's incredible.
Well, yeah, I stopped doing what I was doing. It's actually like a self-medicated thing. I think, this is not me. I need to stop thinking these things like that. And when I did, the violent dreams ceased.
Yeah, there you go.
So thank you once again, sir.
You're welcome. Good talking to you. Thank you very much for the call, Luigi. Steve in Minneapolis. Hey, Steve, thanks for listening to AM 950. What's up? KTNF.
Well, yes. Hi, Tom. Yes, I love your show. I wanted to comment on your rant earlier about how the Republican Party has become nothing but racism and voter suppression and so on. And it caused me to wonder, how can anybody still be a Republican? Now, of course, I can answer that perhaps for some white folks and their single-issue voters and abortion or whatever other issue, but how can any black person still be a Republican? In particular, you've got the black senator from one of the Carolinas, can't remember his name exactly, but
from South Carolina.
Yeah, Scott. You know, so how can a black person be a senator, and how can any black people be Republicans? And maybe the answer is, you know, some of that single issue stuff or follow the money, that kind of thing. And one other thing, Tom. I went to the Minnesota-Wisconsin football game on Saturday. They're both two land-grant schools, by the way, on this other thread you had. Well, with my grandson, who's going to be 18 soon, he's working at a pizza place for $14 an hour. And when he turns 18 in a couple weeks, he gets $15 an hour. So there you go.
Wow, he's out.
And there was no proof of vaccination required to go into the stadium here in Minneapolis. But anyway,
that's
back to my main point. Yeah, how can any black folks vote Republican, or how can any a black person be a Senator Scott, for instance?
Yeah, I don't know what's in Tim Scott's heart, and I'm willing to assume that he's got the very best motives. I think we have to assume that of people, generally speaking. But when a political party makes the kind of decisions that the GOP has been making year after year after year, yeah, the patterns are pretty hard to deny. Steve, thanks for the call. We'll be back. Stick around. It's we're hitting the top of the hour. We'll be right back.
You're listening to Tom Hartman.
Life can be full of risks. One thing you shouldn't take a risk with ever is your family's health insurance. If you're self-employed or you now need affordable health insurance, you need to make this free call right now and see how the Health Insurance Helpline can help you get it. We specialize in helping the self-employed and people just like you that need affordable health insurance to get it. We have short and long-term health insurance plans, and some even cover dental, vision, and prescription drugs. Don't take a risk with your family's health insurance. It's not worth it. If you're self-employed or now need affordable health insurance, call right now and learn for free how to get it. Listen, affordable health insurance plans for everyone just like you are a free phone call away. So give us a shout right now.
800-373-8414. 800-373-8414. 800-373-8414.
Life is about moments. Good moments. Bad moments. Awkward moments. Super awkward moments. And magic moments. Magic moments like when you stay for breakfast, or when you realize it's more than just a fling, or when that first date never ends. And when those moments come, you need to be ready. Roman ready. Being Roman ready means you have the confidence and control to perform when the moment comes. Roman is a men's healthcare clinic that gives guys the assuredness they need to enjoy life and be present. Go to getroman.com/healthy and connect with a U.S. licensed healthcare professional. If appropriate, they can prescribe ED treatment to help you be Roman ready. Visit today, and if you're prescribed, get $15 off your first month of ED treatment.
From all of us at SiriusXM Progress, we're wishing you a happy Hanukkah.
Stocks are taking a dive following comments made by the head of the nation's central bank. Federal Reserve Chairman Jerome Powell told Congress today the Omicron COVID variant could dent economic recovery and brings risk to employment as well as increased uncertainty for inflation. The White House COVID response team is keeping a close eye on the new Omicron variant of coronavirus. COVID coordinator Jeff Zients said we have the tools we need to curb new variants. He said the overall COVID response will continue to be guided by science. Dr. Anthony Fauci said global scientists are working aggressively to better understand the new threat. The NIH veteran stressed that the best way to avoid COVID is to get vaccinated and boosted. CDC Director Rochelle Walensky noted there's no evidence of Omicron entering the U.S. yet. Rapper Travis Scott wants to pay for funerals of the victims of the Astroworld concert stampede, but that's not sitting well with one of the families. The attorney for the father of 9-year-old Ezra Blount sent a letter saying the offer is declined. Blount was the youngest of 10 people who died at the show. His family is one of hundreds that have filed lawsuits. The rapper is hiring a high-profile attorney to represent him in the lawsuits. Dan Petrocelli became the Houston rapper's lead counsel last week. The Los Angeles-based lawyer previously represented AT&T and Time Warner during the federal government's unsuccessful antitrust suit. He also helped Don Henley win a wrongful termination suit by former Eagles lead guitarist Don Felder. Multiple suits have been filed against Scott after 10 people died and dozens were hurt November 5th during his Astroworld festival. The man known as the QAnon Shaman is appealing his prison sentence and making other legal maneuvers. Rory O'Neill reports.
Not only is Jacob Chansley appealing his 41-month prison sentence, the so-called QAnon Shaman is seeking to avoid his guilty plea on charges related to his involvement in the January 6th attack on the Capitol. Chansley is expected to claim his plea deal should be tossed out because he got bad advice from his attorney. The shirtless protester, covered in face paint and wearing a hat with horns, pleaded guilty in September to a single count of obstructing a proceeding of Congress.
I'm Lisa Taylor.
College Football Conference Championship Week is on Sirius XM. Alabama wins the SEC. We're previewing every game right now on our Power 5 conference channels. Our analysts are looking at all the key matchups and how the results will impact the college football playoff.
If they're your Big Ten champion and you're a one-loss team, you're going to be in.
On channels 371 to 375 and on the SXM app. Sirius XM radios are on free now through December 6th. Visit SiriusXM.com/listen-free to learn more.
Hi, I'm Chase. I'm a service tech for Dish Network, and I was recently voted most reliable on my team. So when I tell you Dish has 99% signal reliability anywhere in the country, including rural America, you can believe it. Dish puts reliability first, so you can watch your teams and your news and your favorite shows without being interrupted, no matter where you live. As the voice of reliability for Dish, I'm spreading the word to our customers in remote areas around America, like Juneau, Alaska, or St. Elmo, Colorado, or even Lucas, Kansas, population 370. It doesn't matter where you live. Dish guarantees 99% signal reliability because we understand that TV is more than just simple entertainment. It's a way of staying connected to the things you care about. So get Dish and get 99% signal reliability. To learn more, call 1-844-CALL-DISH, visit dish.com, or find a local retailer near you. 99% signal reliability based on data from set-top boxes.
What's all the buzz about nasal irrigation and Navage? And should I try it? Here's the science. Airborne germs invade through your nose. It's the body's air filter for trapping allergens and viruses. When your nose gets clogged, it's less effective and germs multiply. Eventually, your immune system can get overwhelmed and you get sick. Nasal irrigation is an effective, all-natural way to clean your nose. It's not a drug. It's more like plumbing. Saline goes in one nostril, around the back of the nose, and out the other nostril, flushing out mucus and germs. I'm Martin Hoke, and I invented Navage to make cleaning your nose easy. It's the world's only nose cleaner with powered suction. Navage pulls out the bad stuff so you can breathe better, sleep deeper, snore less, and feel healthier. At Walgreens, CVS, Rite Aid, Target, Bed Bath, and Walmart. Or go to Navage.com for a free gift with purchase. Over 2 million sold. Navage, N-A-V-A-G-E. Clean nose, healthy life.
Attention Americans 65 and older. The Medicare annual enrollment period ends December 7th. Now is the time to select your Medicare Advantage plan for 2022. Get ready for an important toll-free hotline where you can get your free Medicare benefits review. Do you currently have a copay? A high deductible? Do you pay extra for dental and vision? Are your out-of-pocket costs just too high? If you answered yes to any of these, then call 800-766-9127. A Senior Market Quotes licensed insurance agent will help you compare plans, which can include $0 copays, $0 deductibles, even $0 premiums, plus dental and vision coverage for no additional cost. You may also qualify for up to $144 a month. That's $1,700 a year from the Social Security Give Back Program. Medicare annual enrollment ends December 7th, so call now. The service is free with no obligation. Call 800-766-9127. That's 800-766-9127. 800-766-9127.
This
This is what progress sounds like. Universal pre-K for 3-year-olds and 4-year-olds. Affordable care so that families are not spending more than 7% out of their paycheck. Making sure people don't spend their entire paycheck on prescription drugs. These are things that people want and have been asking for and need just to breathe a little bit better. Be able to provide for their families. That's in the Build Back Better agenda. Republicans support this. Independents, Democrats, you see that in poll after poll. Progress.
This is the Tom Hartman Program.
Welcome back. On the line with us, the Dean of Radio. In fact, he's got his own website, deanofradio.com. Dean Obadala, the host of the Dean Obadala Show, weekdays 3 to 6 p.m. on Sirius XM Progress Radio Channel 127. He's also columnist with the Daily Beast, and a lot of his stuff gets picked up over on MSNBC's website as well, including his most recent piece, The GOP's Long Embrace of Anti-Muslim Hate. Dean, welcome back to the program.
Thanks, Tom. You're the Dean of Radio. That's just my name. So I'm not the Dean of Radio. My website is deanofradio.com. And by the way, I should say that Tom's going to be on my show tomorrow night. So this is sort of a cross promotion, like Home and Home series or something along those lines. So thanks for having me on, Tom. It's always great to chat with you.
Back at you, Dean. Thanks for dropping by. So lay out this scenario for us. How is Lauren Boebert's making jokes about Ilhan Omar, the Somali refugee Muslim, a black American member of Congress from Minnesota? How is Lauren Boebert, the white gun nut from Colorado, making these jokes unique? What is different? How does this fall outside the realm of what we have traditionally considered normal, and even beyond the pale for what we consider crazy in the Republican world these days?
It doesn't. I mean, Lauren Boebert is not an outlier. She is the manifestation of today's GOP. She will raise money off this. She's going to get more popular among the Republican rank and file. And I say that because, first of all, it wasn't just this joke by Boebert. She, as you probably know, has been for months smearing Congressman Omar, saying in writing, in her tweets, calling her a terrorist sympathizer, saying she's a spokesperson for Hamas, smearing Congresswoman Rashida Tlaib, the only other female Muslim member of Congress, saying she's also part of the Jihad Squad simply because she's Muslim. But you got to take a step back, as I note in my article. Anti-Muslim bigotry became weaponized by the Republican Party beginning in the 2012 presidential election. And it was done there by Newt Gingrich and Herman Cain, saying Muslims want to impose Sharia law. Like, we want to impose Islamic law, which is laughable. They were just projecting, because we're seeing what they're doing right now in Texas, in the case tomorrow, before the Supreme Court in Mississippi, imposing their extreme religious beliefs as a law of the land and oppressing women. But the point is, since 2012, they've been demonizing Muslims. That's part of their platform, essentially. 2016, Trump took it to new heights with saying things like Islam hates us, saying Muslims, we knew what the terrorists were and we weren't turning them in, and of course calling for a complete shutdown on Muslims. And he made Congresswoman Omar a very frequent target of his attacks because she's black, she's an immigrant, she's a Muslim, and she's a woman. Don't forget, Congresswoman Omar is the woman who Trump's crowd in the North Carolina rally chanted, "Send her back." The idea of sending a black woman back to Africa made the base so happy, and Trump is suggesting her and other women of color should go back to their home countries, despite that the others were born here. It didn't matter to them. They're of color, they're not Americans. So look, what Boebert did, completely mainstream GOP bigotry. That's where the party is. I just hope Democrats use this in 2022 to define the GOP and ask Americans, do you want these people running the House of Representatives and showing Gosar, Boebert, Marjorie Taylor Greene, Madison Cawthorn, and the fact that Republicans refuse to denounce it, which in my view means they approve of it, they're complicit with it.
And it works for them. I mean, generally speaking, politicians do things because they work. They don't do things because they're irrational and just bouncing off the walls. And there's a large white majority in the United States. We have a rather sordid past with regard to, just say the very least, with regard to the largest genocide in the history of the world, the genocide of Native Americans, with the essentially Holocaust of African Americans for 400 years.
slavery and Jim Crow, and that continues to this day in many ways. And the thing that I'm having trouble with, and just don't know what to do other than just calling it out, but is that there are so many white people in this country who are voting race first. It's like race above all else. The last time a Democrat won the White House with the majority white vote was Lyndon Johnson in 1964.
Yes.
Go ahead.
And there was a study early, about 2015, 2016, the New York Times had a great article about white identity politics. And they tracked it, and they showed that polling in the mid-2000s, they asked white people, how important is your race in terms of voting? At that time, at least there was no admission of it, it was statistically insignificant. It was almost nothing. Flash forward 2015, a third of white Americans, of all white Americans said their race was important to them and how they voted. White identity politics is now in full force on the GOP side. And I think it's because demographic change is real. And there's a sense of tribalism based on race now. And that it's because of Trump, but not just Trump. Republicans have pitted white people against black and brown and immigrants over and over and over again. And it's really taken hold. So we're dealing with a GOP party that is, I think at this point, proudly white nationalists. They are team white. And they want all white people who view everyone of color as a risk or a threat in the zero-sum game scenario to join them. Don't forget, over 40% of white people did vote for Joe Biden overall, men and women combined. So it's not like they're not getting all white people, but they are getting a majority of white people, of men more solidly and then women as well. And we have to deal with this. And calling it out for the bigotry it is something I think important for, even if it won't move them, I hope will get people on our side more worked up to vote, because as we know, it's turnout in the midterm election. We need to give people our own form of red meat, not based on lies and bigotry, but based on the truth, and making clear, here are the stakes. You've got a GOP.
Well, and I think there's a larger issue here, Dean, and that is that in a country that has a multitude of races and religions, but is held together by the common belief in democracy, which was at least the ideal of the founding of this country, and I would say every generation we've inched a little closer to that ideal. We were the first country in the world that was arguably, again, I know all the cynical responses to this, but nonetheless, we were the first country in the history of the world that declared that we were based on an idea and not on our DNA. And increasingly you're seeing democracies, taking that on. That I'm British. Not because I'm white, but because I believe in the ideals of this country. I'm American, not because I'm white, but because, arguably the only people who could actually call themselves Americans are Native Americans or Hispanics. But this idea of a pluralistic society, we haven't seriously talked about this in a long time in the United States. And yet, on the other hand, you've got the white nationalists out there just getting enormous amounts of publicity, promoting their ideas, promoting their hate on their own channels, on right-wing talk radio, and it's tearing this country apart. It's just tearing this country apart. We are at some point going to have to decide, do we want democracy or not? Because we're not going to change the racial composition of the United States. And I think Texas is the real bellwether in this. Texas is no longer a majority white state. And yet, all the levers of power, or virtually all the levers of power in that state, are controlled by mostly white people. There's a smattering of Hispanics, but increasingly, and now we've got several hundred Spanish-language right-wing radio stations, talk radio stations all across the country, and they're popping up in Texas like weeds. And it's shifting the Hispanic population in that direction too.
Well, Tom, to your point about Texas, just briefly, they got 2 additional congressional seats because of increased population. Well, the state is only 39% white right now. It's almost parity with the Hispanic communities, right about there. These 2 new seats they designed are both white majority districts. You know how hard it is in a state that's only 39% white to create 2 new white majority districts? Yeah. That takes surgical precision, and that's what they're doing. Yeah, it is a contest between democracy, a pluralistic society, and going to what they want, which is a white nationalist Christian
I think you could call it ethnocracy.
Perhaps, and certainly religion's a part of it. I mean, the case tomorrow before the Supreme Court on the Mississippi law banning abortion in 15 weeks, including rape and incest. This is all based on religion. That's what they want. They want to impose their religious beliefs on the rest of us. And I keep telling people, there's only two results when you're dealing with these kind of fascist movements. It's either you let them rule you, or you stand up and fight them and hopefully win. Right. And I don't mean military battle, I mean politically here. And we have to get more engaged in 2022. We can win if we come out in. We don't need to complete the same turnout of 2020. We need a really good turnout. We can win. We can hold the House. We can take a Senate seat or two. It's up to our base. Can we get our people out? And I'm hoping they see the stakes that we see right here. It's not a normal election, not normal times. It really is the question of going forward as a nation, as a democracy, or this autocratic movement headed by a guy named Donald Trump or another white nationalist in the future.
Right, and there's no shortage of them. I mean, they're standing in line over on the Republican side, and it's a very, very dangerous time for America, because you can't have an ethno-state and a democracy, at least a highly functioning democracy, at the same time. In my opinion, I mean, it's. I don't know. Anyhow, Dean, thanks a lot for the.
Thanks, Tom. Talking about on my show, my friend. Thanks for being on. I appreciate it. Thanks for being on tomorrow.
Yeah. Okay. We'll talk to you soon. Dean Obadala, the great Dean Obadala. DeanOfRadio.com is his website. You can hear him right here on SiriusXM Radio 127, channel 127, 6 to 9 p.m. Eastern, Monday through Fridays. Dean Obadala is his Twitter handle as well.
This is the Tom Hartman Program.
Back with more of the news of the day and your calls right after this.
Do your pets have the same energy they used to? Do they have problems with itching, scratching, a dull coat, or goopy ears? Then your pets need Dynavite.
DINOVITE.com.
For over 20 years, pet owners have trusted Dynavite to supplement their pet's diet.
We started Dynavite, and in our first stock, we noticed a difference.
Dynavite is an all-natural daily supplement made from whole foods that help support your pet's immune system, digestion, skin, and coat.
Within 3 weeks, he's not scratching and itching, and he's an all-around happier dog.
Today's commercial pet foods are processed at high temperatures, which bakes out all the essential goodness. These processed foods can lack the essential vitamins, enzymes, and probiotics that contribute to overall good health. Adding a scoop of Dynavite to your pet's food bowl is the answer.
If you love your pets as much as I do, you want to do what's best for them to live long, healthy, happy lives. I have 2 cats and 2 dogs. All 4 of them are on the Dynavite.
You won't believe how happy your dog will be.
DINOVITE.com.
Dive deeper into the music you love with brand new Deep Cuts channels exclusively on the SXM app. From Octane to Fly to Pop 2K. More than a dozen new channels designed to feed your need for music discovery. Try them now, only on the SXM app. And tell your friends and family their SiriusXM radios are on free now through December 6th. They can just press the button to listen in the car, plus stream on their phone and at home. Visit SiriusXM.com/listen-free to learn more. Life is about moments. Good moments. Bad moments. Awkward moments. Super awkward moments. And magic moments. Magic moments like when you stay for breakfast, or when you realize it's more than just a fling, or when that first date never ends. And when those moments come, you need to be ready. Roman ready. Being Roman ready means you have the confidence and control to perform when the moment comes. Roman is a men's healthcare clinic that gives guys the assuredness they need to enjoy life and be present. Go to GetRoman.com/healthy and connect with a U.S. licensed healthcare professional. If appropriate, they can prescribe ED treatment to help you be Roman ready. Visit today, and if you're prescribed, get $15 off your first month of ED treatment.
Bombas started by making socks after learning they're the #1 most requested item in homeless shelters. They obsessively crafted them with lots of comfortable little details and a mission of donating a pair of socks for every pair purchased. Then they started making underwear, Shirts too. The number 2 and number 3 most requested items in homeless shelters, respectively. From fabric to fit to feel, Bombas makes every clothing item so they feel good on everyone. Because every item you purchase means you're donating a brand new, specially designed item of the same kind to someone experiencing homelessness. And thanks to the generosity and kindness of their customers, Bombas has just donated their 50 millionth clothing item. That's 50 million brand new pairs of socks, underwear, and shirts given to those in need. And they're just getting started. There's so much more comfort to have and so much more to give. Bombas. Comfort for all. Give an item when you buy an item and get 20% off your first purchase at bombas.com/progress.
This is what progress sounds like. Get out there, talk to people, be optimistic, because we can do a lot at the local level. We can do a lot in our schools. Let's make sure that the communities and the families that have been hardest hit get the kind of support that the government ought to be providing. But then let's turn the corner. Let's look at how we build towards a clean energy future in a way that's going to bring hope. That the future is going to be there for their kids.
The time for progress is now. Progress.
For 3030.
Our 1-hour free podcast recaps our show, and it's available wherever fine podcasts are found. And we have the full 3-hour podcast available over at tomhartman.com if you want to really support our program. With the holidays in full swing, Louise and I are in the market for simple and delicious meals without devoting hours to prep time in the kitchen. HelloFresh helps us out by delivering pre-portioned, farm-fresh ingredients right to our doorstep, saving us time without skimping on quality. With 50 menu and market options changing every week, we always get the variety we enjoy. Their quick and easy recipes help us cut down on meal prep cleanup, just like the one-pan smashed black bean tacos with creamy slaw, pickled onions, and red pepper crema. It was absolutely delicious. Beyond Meals, grab-and-go breakfast, snacks, and sides keep everyone satisfied.